No. Close your mic. Okay. You're living under democracy and coming here shamelessly saying that I want to bomb refugee camps.
Bullshit. Now you're lying.
This is what you said 10 minutes ago. Okay, so you don't even balls.
Now you're resigning.
You said this or no?
Now you're coming out of a closet.
No
one's going to bomb anywhere.
Who said that? You said that.
What did I say?
You said
What
90.
did I say?
Okay, close it. Listen, I think you drink more than enough dosage of coffee. You are so excited. Close your mic. Okay, why are you so nervous? Okay, close your mic.
I'm very nervous now, shivering.
Okay, okay, no worries.
You know why?
You need to provide.
Under my head. They're so good.
Okay, when you finish, tell me the time.
I'm done. Go.
Okay. You said that you need to bring proof. You said 99% of these people coming here live, and we need to bomb the refugee camps. This is what you said, true?
No, that's a lie.
This is what you said, okay.
This is called a straw manning.
What you said? What you said?
Straw manning, Yoni. I'm here to
I teach that. I teach that.
So why are you doing? Why are you practicing?
Okay, what you said? What you said?
I didn't say that. So you
what you said? This is my question.
Something which I didn't say.
What you said? What you said?
About what?
About refugees and refugee camps.
I said that I didn't say refugees.
This gentleman, listen, this gentleman came here, said, the people hate you. Okay. What was your reaction?
Do you want me to rephrase what I said so that you understand me?
No, I don't want that you rephrase. I need you to repeat, not rephrase.
Okay. I believe 99% of the refugees coming to the West.
How do you know? Are you a border control officer? How do you know? You need to bring the proofs. No. First of all, listen, sweetheart. First of all, Zionist is not an insult. Okay, I'm Zionist proudly. Okay, so
I didn't disrupt.
Just to mention.
But let me just.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. So and you disrupt everybody. So
hang on. You told me what I said. I said I believe, or still believe, 99% of these refugees coming to the West.
Okay, so now it's different because now you said I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, your belief could be okay.
Doesn't matter.
No. You claim something you need to bring proofs.
Listen, I am anti-refugees.
You need to bring proofs.
I am anti-refugees. I don't believe the refugees.
No, it's
I believe anti-refugee. I believe that the refugees that come.
Guys, we have rules. Hold on. Guys, we have a rule in this room. You bring data, you gotta back it up with a source.
It's a belief, yeah. It's a belief. You know what? He's trying to take a
I believe. Then I believe
okay.
This is what I said. When he says bombing the refugee camp,
you said that. You said that.
No, I didn't say that.
You said that.
I never said bombing the refugee camp. It's Israel said that.
You said that. Okay.
It's Israel killing the people in the refugee camp. I never said bombing a refugee camp. Impossible, I said that. I said,
first of all,
I'm against the refugees, and I said that's why I vote for Trump, because Trump is against the refugees coming to the U.S. That's what I said. And this Zionist propaganda is coming to you. Stories says we need to bomb the refugee camp. This is not what I said. I'm against that on a daily basis.
And according to you, which one is better?
For bombing the refugee
okay, which one is okay? And according to your opinion, which one is better? Zionist propaganda or IRGC propaganda?
We're not talking about another country.
No, I'm asking. It's a question.
All the countries got agenda. All the countries got talking.
What is your agenda? What is your agenda?
My agenda is peace. My agenda is peace in the Middle East. My agenda is calling for a ceasefire. You know, by the way, we're talking about the bet. We bet on peace and permanent ceasefire. I'm calling for a war to stop. What about you? You're calling for the continuation of war. You're calling for more children to be dead. That's the difference between me and you. I don't want this war to continue from day one. But you guys, in contrary to what I'm promoting there, you call for destruction. You call for more war. Which I'm fully against that. Doesn't matter if it's Guatemala, Palestine, Israel, anywhere. I'm against children to be killed. Is that too much to ask?
Where are you? Okay, so where are you from?
I'm from Chechnya.
From where?
Chechnya, Grozny.
Okay. You're a cover man, without balls. Stay there.
He's Iranian, guys. He's Iranian. I know who he is.
Wow.
I found out who he is.
I know.
We'll come get you. We'll come get you.
Yaakov, do you think this is not a threat in your opinion? We come and get you. This is not a threat to you, Yaakov? Yaakov, this is the Zionism on the steroids. We come and get you. We're coming and get you. This is a threat,
I love you,
and I'm gonna report you right now.
Yeah, report me right now. I don't give a fuck about what you're gonna report. Let me tell you what. I'll tell you. I learned something, okay? Ani ohet Yahudi, ani lo ohet Arabi. Ani. Repeat after me, Soren. I'll teach you some Hebrew. I just learned it, okay? Soren, are you here? Can you hear me?
I'm just in the middle of reporting you, man. I'll get back to you.
Ani ohet Yahudi. It's worth it. I hope I lose my account, Soren. Ani ohet Yahudi. Soren, we're learning Hebrew here. This is a Hebrew learning group. Repeat after me. Ani ohet et Ayudim. Okay? The next is Antishemitov se antisheminit. Have you heard of that one? Soren, are you there? Knock, knock. Knock, knock. Hezbollah. Hezbollah. Azizan. Farsi better. Maybe we should speak in Farsi. Who speaks Farsi here? Yaakov, do you speak Farsi? Yaakov, knock, knock.
No, I don't speak Farsi, but I heard him talking in a Farsi room very well with other people.
I'm sorry. Mami didn't talk to Iran hasti. As Iran from.
Where are you from?
U.S. You?
Oh, I thought. Oh man, there's someone else. I thought you were German.
Well, I don't want to go into too many details where I am.
But you were speaking German.
Ja, ich spreche Deutsch, du auch, du Idiot.
Yeah, you were speaking. You were speaking.
Yaakov, you know what he said that he's going after me, so I just reported him. The mic.
You do what you need to. Hey, Walter, do what you need to. Do what you need to.
No, I did already.
Okay, fine. That's what I'm talking about.
He said what he said, and you heard it. And he didn't actually come out to say stop this bullshit. That shows your name. And guy coming on stage, he's expecting another speaker, Iranian has to have a consistent. This is wrong, But that's why sometimes I feel like even you as a part of the problem. People who are excited to decide it are also a problem. People who are still aside.
Okay. Stop playing victim. Stop playing victim, Sultan. Stop playing victim.
Why do you hate Jews?
Good question. Actually, probably going. I hate Zionists. I don't hate Jews.
Moshe, you're in the audience still recording rooms. Come up, talk. Who was down there, Moshe? Recording rooms. You never come up. You didn't contribute.
We love Israel. We love
I understand. He's always busy at recording rooms.
You cannot tell us.
The guy, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to
We love Jews.
You always record rooms.
I love Jews.
What for?
I love Jews.
What's the point of this recording?
I love Jews.
What are you trying to say?
It doesn't matter. I love. Repeat after me. I love Jews.
Wow.
I am not an anti-Semite. Are you an anti-Semite? Why do you want to delete Jews? We already had a Holocaust, son. Why do you want to do this again? Why do you force us to go to Tehran? Why do you do this? Why do you do this to us? Why do you?
What do you think? What's going to happen in the next 24 hours? And since you know everything,
for 20 years. We've been working still. What's going to happen in the next?
Soren, why do you threaten us Jews? Why do you want to kill us Jews?
What's
Soren,
going to
why
happen?
do you do
Wait,
this?
hold on. What's going to happen in the next 24 hours that you're so convinced is going to change our lives? What's going to happen, Soren?
Question.
You just said
Because you asked the question, so
you made a statement that
Yeah.
said, "Ooh, you guys are going to really come to understand something within the next 24
No,
hours."
that sounds like
a
what
threat
I said. That sounds like what I said.
You
What
just
is
said,
going to
who
happen?
speaks English? Hold on, quiet. Who on the stage that speaks English interpreted it the way I did?
I did.
No, I said, what is going to happen in the next 24 hours in your
Tell us,
opinion?
tell
That's what I said.
Answer it.
Now you're trying to interpret. I asked you a question, and now you respond back.
Do you
with
think I
asking
care about
another
this
question,
account?
which is
I
not
don't-
fallacy, like that.
Why do you threaten Jews?
So
Why
you
do
can
threaten
simply
Jews?
say, I don't want to
Why
answer
do you
that
threaten?
question.
Why
I
do you
don't
threaten
know.
Jews?
Or
Why
you
do
can
you threaten
say, this is
Jews?
going to happen, or I have no idea. You can't just answer the question by asking another question. That is fallacy.
Are you talking in circles?
I'm talking to Yoni, which apparently.
No,
is
you're
not
talking in
valid.
circles. Can you speak English, please?
Yo, where did you learn Farsi? They need to hold their country together. You know, the last thing they want is to be attacked. Like they're holding on to
So
power.
you're saying that they're not going to respond nothing? They're going to take it in? Okay.
Oh, maybe they'll
Okay.
shoot a missile or two. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they'll shoot 300. But the
Okay.
end result will be nothing will get through. There will be a huge retaliation, and it'll be a net negative for Iran.
Okay, so you're saying there would be a massive.
French are.
Would that
It
be
doesn't
the
matter. It will
Sorry.
if it's one missile or it's a lot of missiles. It doesn't matter. There will be
Tier 1 forces.
No, let's picture the scenario. There would be a lot of
French
missiles,
are
maybe they take some casualties, and
Americans
Israel would
are there.
respond back,
Everybody's
right?
there. The whole
And what
world's
would be the
there.
Israeli response look like?
Israel, we stand by Israel.
Okay,
Every-
you know what? Iran's gonna come out from being a nuclear threshold to nuclear state. And that's
Oh
where
my
we're
God.
headed.
Yeah, and the Ayatollah said they've never used it.
I know,
They've
I
never
know.
used it. They would just use
And
it.
you trust them, Mara, when you trust them, don't you?
Well, to be honest,
There you go.
you would have to be a madman. You know what kept us alive in the Cold War was something called game theory, right? Game theory
What is that?
led to the philosophy of mutually assured destruction. Means we could never launch a first strike at the Soviets, and they couldn't do the same thing to us, because if we launched to them, they would have enough time to detect it, and they would launch a huge salvo at us, and we would be destroyed. So therefore, nobody would initiate it on either side.
True, like, what if you
Same
come
way.
against, what if there's a comment in Iran? Did you come out?
Right, but the same way, Iran would never initiate a nuclear war, because it would just lead to their destruction.
they're not
By the way, it
gonna-
would play quickly.
Yes.
It doesn't just hang about means nothing.
No, hang on a second. No, it means something. Look at North
It means
Korea.
nothing.
Look at North Korea. When was the last time U.S. or anyone could do any stuff inside North Korea? No,
Gives
it
a
doesn't.
shit. We don't care about them. They're
No,
weak.
hang on a second. What I'm saying is that yes, does not mean that you are the winner of the war, but it's a great deterrent. So
It's
Americans
not-
are gonna
The U.S.
fuck with
is
you.
not
Pakistan
deterred by
is
North
gonna-
Korea. Right now, as long as they don't do anything to
Pakistan.
South Korea, it doesn't matter. They can fire missiles over Japan into the Japan Sea.
Sure, but
They
you
can do
understand.
all that they want, but it's not a
But
threat.
that's the problem. That's why many people in the U.S. administration are afraid of that. That's why they ask for
No one's afraid of shit.
No. For this scenario, that you're going to live with Iran's nuclear state. They're afraid of that.
Who gives a shit?
Oh, God. I'm talking about the politics here now.
I
If
don't
you
care
push
about the
Iran to the
politics.
corner, they have to come out from it. Let's not forget, Iran's nuclear program started in the 70s. So it's almost 50 years program.
We don't really care about this.
Oh,
okay?
God. I'm talking about you cannot make Iran push Iran to a corner to come out from being a threshold nuclear state to actual nuclear state.
That's
You
their
get
goal.
that
They
wrong.
want to be a nuclear state. It
Politics.
doesn't matter. They're going to do it at some point. So whether we push them or they do
Exactly.
it, doesn't
You're right.
matter.
One day.
It doesn't matter.
But you're trying to do it sooner than
No.
they're going to come out being nuclear one day. But you're going to do
Look,
it
we
now.
don't need to
You're
go.
gonna do it
First of all, you're making the assumption that Israel did this thing. That therefore Iran has to retaliate.
Oh.
It could have been internal.
Hi guys, I'm scared. Soren is IRGC.
But that's the conspiracy theory now.
He is an IRGC social media command center in
Scared
Tehran.
about Jews being.
I've heard many people actually had the same argument.
We're gonna delete you before you can delete us.
I
No,
know.
you're gonna delete it too.
Yeah, a lot of people
possible. It's just not possible, dude.
Yeah, anyone.
So, it's funny, yeah.
Why are you trying to kill us?
They're actually Arabs, and they said Iran and Israel on the same league. What they said, they say Israel and Iran are in the same league. They say that they're fighting, but in reality they're allies. These are the people that you're promoting. You're promoting the vision which is being supported by the Arabs, which they said, they're Persians, they're not Arabs. And they say Israel, they're not Arabs. So these two nations are actually together. They say they're enemies, but in reality they're together. That's what they say.
بزبون خودت، بزبون مادری به ایرانی میگن. تو کسکش داری اینجا پروپاگاندا داری تبلیغات میکنی، کسکش. خیلی داری کسکش میکنی. سالم. چرا به اجازه میدم از این آپلیکاسیونی که آمریکاییست، یهودیست به کار ببری بابا؟ چون که سالم خجالت بکش، سالم خجالت بکش. خجالت بکش. تو صورتت. خجالت بکش. Show a little bit of embarrassment. You're using a Jewish app to attack Jews, man. You have no shame. God is our witness. Elohim will punish you so hard, Soren. What are you doing to God? Elohim sees everything. Elohim knows everything. Elohim is the creator. Elohim is the creator of all things. Esther convinced Xerxes to preserve the Jewish race in Iran. Believe me, Soren, you cannot delete us Jews. You cannot. I am Jerusalem. I love Jerusalem. I love Jews. Man, I love Israel. It's worth, man, you think you can just delete us. It's not going to happen, bro. Elohim is not going to allow it to happen, bro.
Okay, I think, Frederick, your session is over now. Do you want to pay by credit card or cash? Frederick, your conference session is over, my friends. Do you want to pay in cash or by card?
It's meat crunching. I know. It's like disgusting. I'm sure you're enjoying yourself. I thought it was a guy doing that. I honestly could not believe it.
You know what I'm eating?
Chips.
No, the crunchiest cheese doodle ever.
Yeah, so say it was a snack. It was the American snack that's in a bag.
American, not halal. We need to convert it.
They're
They say your cheetah.
You can like up reading it. I love you, T. You're great, and you're very funny. You're witty. And,
I know you're jealous that we don't have any, but it's okay.
no, I am. Look, listen. Here.
Convert those Cheetos.
I'm about to eat Tostitos.
I'm going to convert Cheetos, guys, by force, by hook or by crook. You're coming with us to meet Allah. Your Cheetos. Yes. Your Cheetos need to repeat after me. Can your Cheetos speak?
Yaakov, is that the kind of people that support Zionism, honestly? Is it the kind of people?
Yes, we're Zionists. Yes, I'm. Dude, why is this a secret?
Is that the kind of culture that Zionists have, like the way they talk? I mean, these are the
Zionists eat cheese doodles.
These are the supporters of the Zionists.
Wait, hold on. You're referring to something, but I have no idea what you're doing. Who are you referring to? What speech are you talking about? Be precise with your language.
Yeah.
Who are you referring to? Who supports?
All of these people that say they're Zionists, support Zionism, when you talk to them, they have no morals. They have like inappropriate language that they use. Full of.
What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, he's going to chill out in the audience for a little bit, the VIP section.
What, for that he went to the audience? He said the lecture or something.
I just don't want him to bash on Zionists like he normally does.
Don't worry, he has nothing to bash on. He talks about how they
Zionists have bigger fish to fry.
Wait, look. Soren decided to take a break involuntarily.
you helped him?
Yeah.
You knocked at him?
No, I gave him an upgrade to the RPCs.
Daniel, do you know how many residents there are in State Denmark? In the where? The what? In the detention center. In the detention center, is that a man? Yes, State Denmark. Let me see if I can find out.
I keep on hearing this number 9,000 thrown around by every person bases.
What's the word? Because I've only seen it transliterated. Is it like Sunday? Today? Today, like today is
Where is he? Oh my God, he's gone.
Shin David Hay. Like today is a field. When you say like
SDE, they put it in English, right? SDE?
SDE, but it's SDE because Sadeh is a field. But when you say like this, the field of Yemen, it's Sde Teiman because it's something Yemen. But it is Sadeh. The shower is Sadeh.
Is that the same as like Study Boker? Same.
Yes, exactly. Like Sde Boker, exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
It's hard for me to catch and transliterate it. Like STE doesn't mean SDE doesn't mean Sde. Sde.
Yeah,
so
it's like City Boker.
According to New York Times, in May, they say 4,000.
Yeah, but how many are in prison in Israel that are Palestinians awaiting, through the process or convicted?
It really doesn't.
I know it doesn't. I think that's the big
Why the fuck are
the
you
number that
asking
mayor
if it doesn't
wants to
matter?
get to. Yeah, I know.
You're asking.
Wait, what doesn't matter?
No, I was trying to refine his.
Don't argue
I'm
with
not
me.
asking.
What is he saying doesn't matter?
Wow, GC doesn't matter, UN doesn't matter, all these people don't matter.
Okay, thanks. The UN definitely doesn't matter. There was a number that they admitted to being involved in the Simchat Torah massacre.
It was like 9 members took part.
Yeah.
I saw that this morning.
According to B'Tselem, which is very not pro-Israel, they are talking about 8,000, as of March, 8,000 prisoners.
Yeah, it was close.
And what do they consider by Israeli law? They consider POWs, they consider prisoners? No, well, the set amount of POWs, well, it's not really POWs because, again, it's not really an army, so I don't know exactly what is their definition, but it's not necessarily all the Palestinians that are held in prisons. Those are not prisoners of war, the ones that are in prison. But State Command, whatever they were all abducted from Gaza and whatever POW status you get terrorists, but they're not the same. They're not like they tried to shoot at an Israeli like in Holon. It's that the people in Dittmann were arrested and probably usually they go to be processed. Hold on, let me. They were all arrested in detention center. Yes, as far as I know, yes.
Are they really like we surrendered and are detained with POWs?
What do you consider POW? They're all POW, like they're all the same
Consider
status.
POW a group that a prisoner of war means that there was a group that surrendered. So they didn't not necessarily try to a crime, but if a battalion surrenders 15 people, you don't just like send them back to Gaza so they can join us.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but legally,
right.
So that's a
legally,
POW.
a prisoner. Yeah, but legally, a prisoner of war is someone who's in a uniform and surrenders. An
I
army
understand, but over here, the difference in prisoners of war is you don't have to have a trial. They don't necessarily get an accusation. They have like arraigned and a court, right?
Right.
So that's the difference. And they also don't. They also have Red Cross visitors have to come see them as opposed to a regular prisoner, and they get released at the end of the war. I don't know what you consider the end of the war, but they get released at the end of the war.
or they will be prosecuted because if, for example, one of them participated in the 7th of October, I don't think they will be released.
That's something else.
Yes.
Right, but what I'm saying is this is someone whose only crime was trying to kill soldiers in uniform. So that's different.
Or not even. They could also surrender.
Right, I'm saying
that anyone.
But if they're surrendering, they have to. See, this is why it gets confusing. If they're surrendering and to be held as prisoner of war, and they're supposed to be surrendering as a soldier. If there are civilians with their hands up, then that's not quite prisoner of war.
Well, if they are in a combat zone where no one should be, and they were like part of a militia group, and then they were surrounded, and then they surrender in a civilian clothes, then they are still. But instead, the man, you would only have people from Gaza. You will not have like Palestinians from West End.
But they're all charged or not that?
I don't think they are charged. No, I don't think they are charged.
Welcome, summer.
That's why I'm not sure, but I don't think that you need to charge them with anything, as far as I know. Maybe someone that is more into the legal can explain how does it go, but it's like during the war. Hello? Did I lose connection or?
No, you answered that.
Okay. And Israel made I don't know, I heard today that Israel returned like 80 bodies of Palestinians to Gaza, which I'm not sure.
Yeah,
why.
The hostage families are really upset about that.
I'm also like, I don't get it.
I get it too. I'm pretty upset about it. I mean, the only thing, it's a unilateral gesture, but I don't think it'll be reciprocated.
Of course it will not be reciprocated, but I'm not sure why was the gesture for, like.
I don't understand.
It will not be used for us. They will just say, oh, now we need to do a mass grave for 80 poor Palestinian civilians, journalists, doctors, and babies. Like, it will not be, like, there's nothing, I really don't understand this move. I didn't find any, like, reasoning around it. I thought maybe anyone heard why we did this. But it's such a stupid move. We're always, like, being too human.
Double standards.
Like, I don't understand what's the rush. Like, they're dead anyway. Like, what's the rush? Keep them.
Yeah, like, did we run out of refrigerator space?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, trying to make sense out of it. I thought maybe it could make sense. Why would we return, like, those bodies right now? So Trump said that the attack will happen tonight, but I still.
Yeah, because he has a direct line to Pentagon.
I hope
think
they don't
it just
attack right
happened.
away. I hope they wait for it.
I think it just happened. If you look at the link.
It started already?
What happened?
Yeah, page one link in the back channel.
No,
we,
I
have to
didn't
check
happen.
we have to check the pizza index.
I hope they don't
What is-
start.
This is
Why
very
not?
interesting, Daniel.
Why not?
Because of the.
Iran should fucking stop.
No, because of
Iran should
the.
fucking stop. They need to stop.
I know, but if they wait for another week, that's the damage has already been done already. Look at the market, look at the crash, look at the early airlines.
The US, how does the US market has to do with this?
Congratulations to Iran.
I'm just saying, if they wait for another week, there would be more damage than doing it today.
To who? To the
So
Chinese market? To the Japanese market? French market?
Look, the airline now is already stopped. That's going to cause a lot of trouble. 100,000.
No, actually, so actually, Wizz, for example, announced that from tomorrow they will restart flights to Israel after they stop.
Who? We don't know.
Wizz Airline.
Let's discount. Daniel,
Let's just analyze that track record for a moment. Look how many times over the last 10 years airlines have canceled flights and they true danger, like they're posted right afterwards.
hey, look at the link at the top to learn about the pizza index. Very interesting.
I think it would be simultaneous attack from different front, mainly from Lebanon, I think. The Lebanon will take most of the
initiative, I guess.
I mean, that sounds like Iranians to allow the Lebanese to take
Yeah.
the product.
Hey,
I mean,
that's the one thing I agree with you on.
They don't have a spine to actually do it themselves. They threw away the proxy command. They'll do that to Lebanon.
Yeah, why do they care how many Lebanese die? They care.
Yeah, they don't care how many people die. They'll destroy anyone around them.
I think Haifa, you gotta look up the Haifa. Haifa is the place of interest.
Yeah, well, it's one of the leading cities in Israel that has a larger Arab population. Yeah, after Haifa.
They don't mind murdering Arabs. They just killed a bunch of soldiers, and they were fine with that.
Yeah, I guess so.
No, not because of that. Because a lot of industries, factories there, they're not gonna attack.
But our point is that Iran is. They're doing
Oh no, they have no problem.
Oh,
I mean, they killed the
you know, I
Iraqis.
can tell you, they're not gonna attack any civilians from Iran for sure, but Hezbollah, because of, yeah, and I can tell you why, because
Like you're
of
saying, Iran.
Oh, actually, already announced.
Question right now.
Yes,
Yes,
Summer.
Summer. Let's hear your
Yes, Summer. Nice to see you on stage. What's up?
Oh, nice to meet you too. Thank you.
We met.
Yeah, it was like a good introduction. We're heartwarming.
We try. We're accommodating. That's we can. What's up?
Anyway, so I said, like, I was thinking, why would the country of Israel not be religious, like religiously, like, why doesn't it admit that the basis of this country is religious more than its ethnicity? You know why? Because like,
It's the opposite. They don't. It's not a religion.
Why? Wait a second. What's the
Yeah,
basic
I don't
question?
understand
Why do they have?
no, I'm saying why don't they admit that they're, you know, it's like a Jewish religious country instead of being like a
Because
country.
not a religion.
It's not because it's not. It's a country. 20% of the.
Like,
inhabitants-
Samuel, why don't you say that you're a man? Why don't you admit that you're a
And
man?
why don't you admit?
Because you're not. Yeah, exactly. Why don't you admit that you're a man? Because you're not.
It's
That's
a
what I said.
country.
And identify yourself as a man.
Summer, can I try to answer this?
I'm gonna convince you. I'm just gonna convince you that my talk is a little bit makes sense. So you guys like come from Europe.
Facts
and
of
I'm
society.
not really, but really, I don't identify as Arab like fully. I identify as many things.
So how do you know where we come from?
Yeah. You think all of Israel comes from Europe? Do you
Yeah.
know how the Jews in Europe got there,
Moment.
Summer?
You don't even finish this.
Wait, Summer.
Welcome to the Zionist room, welcome to the Zionist room.
Okay.
Quiet.
Sorry to the audience because he keeps interrupting. Summer, give me 1 second, and then you can talk. Summer, I want to hear you uninterrupted.
thing is, you guys come from all over the place, right? And everywhere. So why would you identify as one people? That's what I don't get.
Okay, so I'll explain it to you.
Can I
Okay, Meg will explain. And
I'll
hello.
make it very simple. We all come, yeah, and Kelly was raising her hand, so let's
I
explain
would
this.
like you to explain to me because I was talking to my fellow Arabs on that thing. So we talked about what is being Arab, and most of them said it's not a race. It's more like
Culture.
It's more like a culture and a tongue, like a language, but it's not a race essential. So we were talking
not a
also about
religion either.
Hindus. We were talking about the Kurds and Iranians. Don't worry, I'm not specifying it. We said like they said like the DNA test is not allowed in Israel because it.
That's not true. Arabs say that, but it's not true. Go look it up. You can take a DNA test.
Not in France. You can't do it in France.
Test, but
Yes.
what would it tell you? Like
It would tell you that
you're.
you're part of the Jewish nation, which is a DNA. Jews have more similar DNA to each other. Like I'll have more similar DNA to Yemenite Jews than I will to anyone in Europe. So the origin.
Does that make you a race? Does that make
No,
you
we're an ethnic pride.
I'm not gonna get into this game of a race, a nation, a
No, I will.
ethnicity.
I will.
No, you can. Now, let me answer it. Because it's you're really trying to do is define those words more than you're trying to define what Jews are.
Why are you
So let's just-
trying to say that? Okay, go ahead.
Because you're going to end up spending more time defining those words than defining Jews. So it's a waste of time. What I'd say is the Jews have all originated from Judea, hence the term. Then we got this.
What was Judea? Wait a second. It wasn't like Judea, right? It was like from
It was.
Iraq. They originated from
No.
No, Judea.
Yeah, from Abraham. That's a father.
Okay, so Abraham.
That was before we were Jews.
That's yes. Okay, so if you want to go by
Yeah, but
biblically,
who's the father? Who's the
Okay.
origin of this?
and he was also called, and then the verse says he was taken from the other side of the Euphrates and transplanted to the land of Canaan, which is Judea. So even if you, taking that story, there was a man who moved from across the Nile, or the
He was
Euphrates.
Babylonian. Abraham was Babylonian, right?
That's completely irrelevant. That's like saying that Pennsylvania. That's like saying that people that live in Pennsylvania are Dutch because William Penn was Dutch. It's like no, they're American. It's like a silly place to start.
A non sequitur.
Yeah. Again, if you go, which I do go with the biblical story.
What is
Abraham.
Okay, look.
See, I told you not the problem.
Okay, Abraham begot Isaac, all right? And Isaac, if you go down and then you get to Jacob. Now, when I say we're an ethno-tribe, right? There's 12 tribes that came from Jacob, who was renamed Israel, right? Just like the Quran says, the children of Israel, or the children of the covenant, depending on your translation, shall dwell in the land, right? So now you have 12 tribes, right? It's an ethno-tribe, meaning we have a common origin point, the Levant. We have common language, common culture, common food, common language, right? Right. So, and then in 134 AD, we have to thank the Romans for dispersing us all over the world. They wanted to de-Judaicize the place, wipe us out, sent 60,000 of us to Rome to build the Colosseum, dispersed a lot of Jews into what is now, hold on, what is now, you asked for an answer, I'm giving it to you. Dispersed a lot of the Jews, some of them ended up in what is now Arab countries, like they ended up in Persia, and they ended up in Iraq, and they ended up in all these different places in North Africa. Some went to Spain, some went to Central Europe, and then migrated to Eastern Europe. So the ones that, what you call European, you guys come from Europe, they're just returning. The whole Zionist movement is just returning to the place where they came from, returning to the place where we came from. We were there, we were kicked out, and for many, I can't put enough manys on there, generations was to return to the place where we came from. So that's why it's an ethno-tribe.
But after this, it will be like a religious movement more than, let's say, you guys are being one tribe. Like
Herzl, for example, was not religious. Herzl, we know him, right?
But it will make more sense if it was religious.
Yeah, but it's not. We can't say it makes sense. It was history. It is what it was.
Why? One thing, Summer, tell me the religious part. I mean, I can tell you religious part, but you tell me where's the religious part.
For example, if you're gonna base your claims on a land on a religious.
No, we don't. We don't.
No, we don't. The claim for the land is for us. It's only internally, okay?
Religious.
We don't have but it's internally.
Summer, you've been in.
It's up to you guys.
Summer, you've been in these rooms. You've heard Daniel speaking. He spoke for hours. Has he ever mentioned the Bible once in the claim?
No.
Right. So it's not a religious claim. Now I could tell my friends, like Daniel was saying, that that based on religious texts, I'm happy to be able to live freely in the Holy Land. But that's not the basis for the land. That's like an American being happy that we live in America where we have freedom of speech. That's not the basis why we have this country. There's a much stronger basis why we don't have this, the sovereignty of America. Now, the reason why I'm proud to be American is because of the rights it gives me. So the reason I like visiting Israel is for religious reasons. So that's not the legitimacy of the land. No one ever makes it. I didn't say ever. You'll find some people say stupid things. But that's not the basis of the claim. Kelly, you're raising your hand. Are you saying hi? Or you're asking to say something?
So if we're gonna have like common culture, common language, we're gonna be an ethnicity. It's not like we're not like descending from one tribe. We have something in common with each other. That's it. Common culture, common traditions. We're done, right?
Which also descends from one tribe. When Judea was destroyed the temple was destroyed in 70, and then there was the revolt.
Do you say that it's genetic, like something inside of the genes?
There is a genetic.
Yeah, but it's not completely genetic because we have people that have joined the religion, right, who are converts, right? So they're going to appear genetically different, and we do not use genetics to say who is a Jew. As long as you come from a Jewish mother or you converted properly. Right, but it's, Kelly.
What makes me Jewish, Summer, for example? What makes me Jewish?
I just wanted to point out.
You tell me.
Wait, can we allow Kelly to talk and then go to the
Yeah, I get it, welcome.
I don't know you, so I'm not going to assume that you're in good or bad faith. So that's not what my point is meant.
What do you mean?
Well,
If you just let me speak.
Go ahead.
You're asking them to defend against your own projection of what they are, which is really difficult to do.
My projection? I'm just asking. Not projecting. What did I project?
Summer, can you let her finish us
Maybe I
out?
projected
Like one period. Can we get one period and then we'll share?
Yeah, Summer, you have an idea of what it means to be Jewish, and your question, why isn't that their idea of what's meant to be Jewish? And so they're having to defend against, they're not just explaining to you what it means to be Jewish or answering your question. They're literally having to argue against an uninformed idea in your head, which you're projecting into the conversation. That's my point. So why is it that you think, and I know that you guys have kind of gotten there, but why is it that you think it's important for anybody to see the Jews as religious as opposed to anything else? Why is that important?
Because it will make more sense than to claim a place to the Middle Easterns, I believe. Like the mentality of the Middle East that will take religions as something more serious than the ethnic part.
So you're saying that because the religious war being waged against the state of Israel should respond back with a religious war. It's an interesting take. I mean,
Why not?
Well, I think that's the problem.
It seems to me the ethnic argument makes for an inconvenient, position that's often taken by people in opposition to Israel being here. So that could be one reason. I'm not going to say it's.
So.
Well, hold on. And more importantly, wait 1 second, Summer. If it was an ethnic argument, that means the country of Iraq would be 3. The country of Iran would be like 20, like Baluchistan and Turkmenistan. There are Turkmen people, there are Baluchis, there are Kurdistans. You're essentially calling for the wholesale. Syria would be multiple countries. Lebanon would be multiple countries.
She wants Israel to respond to the Palestinians and say you can't live here because it's a Jewish country.
No,
as opposed to saying it's a sovereign nation by sovereign nation styles.
What I want to understand from you, Judaism is like religion or is it a race? Because like if you have one genetic.
Okay, so Judaism is
not a race. It's not a race.
So let's try to separate this.
I'm just saying it's like if it's let's say if it's more religion or race. This is the thing. So
so you have to separate Judaism from the people. I can help you.
That was telling me.
So you have to separate Judaism. Right, so because you have to separate Judaism from the people. You can be Jewish and not practice Judaism. So regardless of what anyone else wants the truth to be, that's the truth. So if a Jewish person chooses not to practice Judaism, most of Jews that choose not to practice Judaism are secular. They're still Jews. So we cannot that being Jewish means practicing religion. It's just not true. Now, some people might want that to be true, but it's still not true.
It's not the only ethnic religion.
So let's say like some Arabs have this like Jewish genes. Does that make them Jews?
Well, again, we don't go by DNA tests. This is not like that's not how we count that. No.
Does that count as Jewish?
No, because that's not how we decide who is Jewish.
First of all, it's not how we decide who's Jewish. Second of all, it's not a whole lot like eugenics.
How do you decide?
You need a tradition that your mother is Jewish,
or you convert in,
or you can convert in. It's
right,
just fairly rare.
It's very
fairly rare.
As a percentage, it's rare.
That's
so
idea that your mother is Jewish.
It's also a national idea. if you have a nation, it's an exile nation. If you have a nation, then you could become a naturalized citizen. This is an exile nation that has a naturalization process. I understand that Jews have been practicing Judaism for a very long time.
Well,
What?
Summer, your
No.
argument doesn't.
No,
work.
that's Summer, no, it's not true at all. If you're in the state of Israel, you can declare any religion you want. There's about 2 million Muslims. There are plenty of Christians. Most people are traditional Jews. There are religious Jews. And there's a whole bunch of minorities, like Buddhists or whatever else. So no, to either naturalize into Israel or if you're a citizen, you do not have to have your religion as Jewish. No.
There were two groups of Arabs in the land of Israel when it declared independence. Those that left and those that stayed. Those that stayed got citizenship, right? And I can read you the Declaration of Independence. It talks about how they were going to treat everyone with equal protection and equal rights in the land, which does exist. So this notion that it's only for Jews, by its face, doesn't work because 20% of the population is not Jewish.
The state taxes.
I just asked you one question.
I know, and we're trying to explain. It's not.
Wait, what
And
question?
I'm saying to you, it's like, what makes a Jew in your eyes? And
We
you
said-
just said, you didn't like say,
We
okay,
said,
there's what you said. You literally said there's enough Arabs, there's enough
No.
Christian, you're Jew.
No, let her finish the question.
No.
What makes it
Wait, Yaakov,
Jew?
let her finish.
Honestly.
So we answered you, we answered you, Summer. What makes a Jewish person is your mother is Jewish or a conversion.
And what is that?
Let me try something, Summer, let me try something.
One second. What
Hold
is
on.
let her ask her question.
No, because I'm about to leave, so just one sentence and then I just need to open up.
Yeah.
So Jews are people that we have a religion, okay? So the people are the Jewish people, and we have a religion, which is the Jewish religion. Not all Jews practicing religion. For example, because my mother was a Jew, so I'm a Jew and I'm a secular Jew. I
So
don't
does that
practice
this
Judaism.
is like DNA. This is genetic.
No, it's not
That's
DNA.
correct to say.
No.
Okay, Summer.
This is ridiculous.
No, Summer, let me try it this way.
So
I am
what is
American.
that? What is
Wait,
that?
Summer, I'm an American.
It's
Our
idea.
customs. It's our customs.
Summer, let me try to explain to you. I am an
Okay,
American
wait a second.
citizen. I have a blue passport. Summer, give me a minute. I am American, I have a blue passport. Now, the truth is I'm also American because I was born on American soil. So let's forgive me for a moment. My daughter was born in Israel. She was born to 2 American parents in the state of Israel. She is an American, and she has a blue passport, and she's only American. She has no other citizenship. The reason she's American is because both her parents were American. No one took a DNA test. No one could ever take an American DNA test. But the fact that her certificate of birth abroad shows 2 American parents, she only needs 1, but she has 2 American parents. She's an American citizen, and it's never been adjudicated. She could probably run for president. So the point that there is, it's not DNA, but there are rules. Now, she could have, not she, but someone else could become a naturalized citizen. I don't know where you were born, what your citizenship is, but you could become a naturalized citizen. Now you're in. Now all your children are American, no matter where in the world they're born. You following?
Okay, so the Arab Israelis are going to be Jews? That's what you're saying?
The Arab Israelis are going to be
Arab
Israeli.
are Jews.
No, they'll be
Arab
Israeli.
Israelis are Israeli.
No, they're Israeli.
I said one thing.
They're Israeli.
I said one thing. Yeah, they're Israeli.
They didn't
have
convert
So
to
you're
become
saying
Jews.
this is customs? Like, okay, it's just
No,
an
it's not
idea.
custom. It's
So
just,
Yeah,
it's an
if
idea in the head.
I don't know what that
Your
means.
mom is
No,
gonna be
no.
Jewish.
I mean, everything's an
Islam
idea.
is also an idea in the head, you know? What makes you
So was
Muslim?
our Arabs. So being Arab, an idea.
Listen, there's a country called Israel. It has defined borders, right? The people that live in there have Israeli citizenship,
Okay, now-
regardless of
Oh, really?
regardless of religion. Zoroastrians, right? Christians, Muslims, Jews. Those that live there, those that are
So
born there,
what
get.
makes you like? I don't know. It's just so confusing because like, if you're gonna say, so you guys, a tribe that kept its customs, just like let's say the Muslims. So if my
I mean, a
father-
tribe makes you happy.
No, not the Muslims, the
Yeah.
Arabs. Arabs would be
And
better, not
okay,
Muslims.
Okay, interesting.
You're trying to define us with your own preconceived notions. That's okay, and we're just trying to explain
I'm
it.
trying to make
as-
similarities. I would
You
say.
can't. It's
Yeah, I'm
different.
trying to make similarities in here.
Well, it is difficult because Jews are
The
unique that have
Arabs
been in
go
exile for so long.
Okay.
It's
It
just
is complicated because Jews have been in exile for so long that there aren't many other people to compare it to.
I got you.
I mean, you
So
could
this
talk
is
about
like
the
if you guys
Kurds,
kept
you could
your
talk about-
customs, that's That's what I understand. You kept this idea in the head. That's what I understand. You kept this idea in the head for so long that you can go back to a land and then you can be like, okay, it's because of that idea we can claim that and we can.
Not an idea, it's facts. It's not an idea.
No, that
idea,
wasn't a
it's
claim to
fact.
the land either.
A fact.
You do understand that Jews lived in Israel for the entire exile period, right? They have always been Jews.
Small number relative to the total.
Well, in 16th century, it started getting bigger. It's been by 18th century, it's majority of Jerusalem. Now the Muslims forced it to a small section of the city, but it was the majority of the residents.
It's not an idea.
You realize that when the colonial era
If you're gonna go back, no, literally, but all of us were. It's based on ideas, also. It's not the
everything is based on ideas.
It can only be like, how can I tell you?
But I don't know what you think an idea is. Everything is based on ideas. The phone I'm holding in my hand right now is Apple. Apple's an idea. It's just in our head that there's a company called Apple and they hold patents. And they have
an idea.
It's all ideas.
That's a bigger idea than the Jews.
Israel is an idea, you're right.
The
Everything is an
United States is
idea.
an idea too. Let's mess with that idea and find out.
Israel is an idea. Jews are
Islam is an idea. Yes, everything is an idea. It doesn't help us to progress the
Muslims is an
conversation.
idea. Arabs are an idea. Why not?
Exactly.
Have-
But the
have-
claim,
No, like,
but
so
some of the,
the idea
but the
is
claim is,
better than
but the claim is, but the claim is for us, okay? We believe that we came from there and it's good enough for us. This is why we went back to Israel and we purchased the land. We didn't come and say, hey, we believe this is ours, so go away. So the claim is for ourselves. It's something that we can tell ourselves. It's not something that we tell to others, hey, this is our land, leave.
But it's happening. Like, I'm not saying you're saying
What's
it's
happening?
not happening. Then
What's happening?
other ethnicities or whatnot, they're suffering also in that place.
Not
They're not
because of
happy.
Israel.
A good
Who's
one.
suffering? Who's
They
suffering?
chose to attack Israel.
There's a big.
No, she's saying that other ethnicities are suffering in Israel. But Samuel, you don't pay attention.
Wait,
You don't pay attention to the things that are being told. You don't pay attention. Samuel. But we are telling you that one of every 5 Israelis is an Arab Muslim. And you seem to confuse between Israelis and Jews. Israel is 20% Arab Muslim, 80% we have Jews. So the Jews are secular and non-secular. Jews are Mizrahi and Ashkenazi. Okay, I understand that it's hard to comprehend, but it's all that together.
It's hard to comprehend. Why not? They have a brain. Don't worry.
We're working with you. We're not giving up.
You're working. Well, that's so funny.
Don't make fun of me. I'm taking it.
Let's see.
I'm
Good night,
treating it with
everyone.
respect. Don't condescend me, please, Summer.
No, never. Respect.
When you laugh, when you chuckle, and then you say the words you just said, that's very condescending.
Why do you feel it's condescending? Why does it have anything to do with you personally, anyway?
Well, you were addressing a small group of people in a kind of laugh, and that's very condescending. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people talking, and Dmitry hasn't said anything, so 5. I know. I'm telling you, when we're trying to educate you, we're trying to answer your questions, and we're doing so without any personal attacks.
Okay, Sharon.
So we're treating you as an equal.
So here's the
and
problem.
you're treating
Summer.
differently.
There's a lot of foundations that's messed up here.
Oh, I shouldn't
You-
laugh. Like, if I have the urge to laugh, I would hold it. That's what
It's fine, Summer. The way it came out. Let's just move on.
Okay.
You can laugh. I hope you laugh a lot. I hope you enjoy life. Summer, there's a problem here. There's a lot of foundation there's a faulty foundation that we're trying to build about. You're equating Jews and Israel as one, which is confusing. You're thinking that there are minorities in Israel that are being oppressed. They're not. There's no minorities in Israel that are repressed. Like, there's a bunch of stuff here. You think the claim to the land comes from this is our land because we were once here, get out. That's not. So we really have to strip down to the bottom and build this foundation again.
No, but there are a lot of Israeli officials in that country. I know it's maybe it's getting into your business a little bit, but we can see the damage that it's doing in the Middle East. And I don't feel like that kind of thing we wanted in the Middle East.
Who is being damaged?
Wait, there's a lot of Israelis that what? Of Israeli officials that what? You finish this the
That
thought.
are, when they're talking about the other Arabs, which are also human beings like the Jews.
They're not nice people, I'm gonna tell you.
Exactly.
That's
So it's
irrelevant. They're still people. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Well, they try to blow you up and convert you by force.
Yeah, that's not helpful right now.
I mean, that is kind of relevant, you know, those of us that have experienced this. I mean, I just want to say that they will try to blow you up and take you to Allah all at the same time.
Yeah, that's
Why don't you go to Hitler? Then why don't you go to Hitler? He will do
I'm not
something else.
German, sweetheart. You fucking idiot.
Okay,
No,
let's
but it's
just
like, why
keep
don't
it at a
you- why
level.
don't you
So where are you going with
If you're
this?
gonna make it that
You little
level,
jerk
if
what?
you're gonna take it to that
You don't
level,
know my
take it to
race.
that level with
Well,
me.
wait, why are you getting personal?
Jews deserve a land.
Let's hold on. We're not going there.
Ceasefire. Everyone's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you're disgusting and you're taking it to that level anyway. That's what I think, honestly. It's heartbreaking and it makes me mad. Oh my God.
Are you
All right,
saying?
let's
So,
back.
Hold on, Kelly.
Blowing up.
no, Summer, I can appreciate that, that some of the claims are maybe what you're talking about when you say it's heartbreaking, disgusting. I can appreciate that, but the misunderstanding about a people, though, that's also frustrating. And so I just wanted to point out that, yeah. So I mean, that's part of, and I think that Mayor and Daniel and Jacob and who else has been arguing this case. I feel like somebody else is in here doing it, but I feel like they're trying not to operate in that way. So give them the grace. Yeah, but just recognize that the mischaracterization, even though that one was just extreme, it's still a mischaracterization when people misperceive what Jews are, what Israel is, what Israelis are,
I am Jerusalem.
what Israeli Arabic people are. Like, so they're just trying to help you understand that as well. So maybe you can connect how you just felt to what it is that just bothered.
I love
So
Jerusalem.
Can you stop interrupting?
Yeah, sorry.
Mhm. Okay.
Sorry,
I'm just
hopefully you got my
saying,
point.
Yeah, I got your points, and actually, we're having good conversation here.
I agree.
So we're talking, and I'm giving my point of views on everything, and like all the controversies that I find in that picture, right? And that country or people or the claim or like all the ideas about it from my perspective, okay, as an Arab Muslim, let's say. And I want the other side. I want to also understand what is the other side thinking, like rationally. Like, is it the way? Is it like you guys see us the way that we see you? And like, what do you think about the whole situation as human beings before anything else?
Okay, so the situation is that Israel has the right to exist, and if Israel doesn't viciously defend itself, it'll get attacked and annihilated from all sides. That's where it starts. Now, Israel does not want to rule over Palestinians. By Palestinians, I mean the ones that are politically Palestinians. There's 2 million Muslims.
No, but it's just the stuff that you guys said when you said that when the people came from all over the place and they came to that land and they didn't keep people that was there. I disagree with that because
You can't disagree with that. It's history.
fact. No, it's a factual that there were people there and they were like, they became refugees to many countries because of that displacement.
Okay, so the facts
And
are,
that's the
these are the
problem.
facts.
So it's
The
like
facts
when you
are,
deny something
okay.
like that. It's not smart.
well, these are the facts. The facts are that Jews did move to Israel on a much higher rate after the advent of better transportation and like steamships and trains. That is true. There also was a thriving community there for a very long time. As the Jewish community got bigger, the Jewish community built a bunch of stuff and a bunch of Arabs moved in from around. Most of the Palestinians that are in Israel today are fairly recent immigrants from Egypt and Syria due to the Zionism building up the economy, the local economy. The Mabruks all the way back in the Crusades destroyed the local economy intentionally so that the Christians should never come back. So there was no way for that area to support itself. It was never ruled from within. It was either ruled from Istanbul, a short time from Damascus, it was ruled from Cairo.
Yeah, it was never ruled. No one ever
Because,
set up
I
a
do
country.
understand that. I've seen like a video on it from the internet. There was this guy Hamas, the Green Prince. He talked about it. He said about it, and he was right in a way because this place, it's just like I would compare
Okay, so
it
this
to
is-
Iraq because
so
Iraq
this
has
is-
been like with many civilization, and in that region, if you're strong enough, you're gonna win, or if you have majority.
But there was
majority
no
wins.
local group that had a locality to it. So it was an area. It was ruled by someone, but it was never ruled by locally and considered like native to the area. There were Syrians, there were Egyptians, there were Ottomans. There was never anyone from the local area. That was true really until the 60s. But the displacement that you're talking about was after 5 Arab nations attacked Israel to destroy it, and Israel miraculously won the war in 48. There was most of the people left voluntarily because they didn't want to either live with Jews or they wanted to get out of the way. So the invading armies got on. Some got forcibly removed, mostly villages along the highway between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem because it was building a blockade, which was starving out the city. So there was displacement then. That's the one displacement we're talking about. That was a war. It was an aggressive war that Israel didn't start. Israel won the war, and people got displaced. But every other time that we're talking about of Jews moving in or expanding from within and buying up more land was all done with purchases. It was all done legally. It was all done as a group. So that's not really called.
Yeah, but there was
displacement.
also these militias, which was like at that time the Haganah and all these militias. There were small militias that did some stuff that in order to take control of the place, like military.
No. The Haganah was very mild. Irgun and the Lechi were the more hostile ones, and most of their attacks were like I say most. It was until very short before 48. They were all against the British, and when they started attacking against the Arabs, it was the sieges that they were trying to break. Jerusalem was under siege. The city was starving. Children were picking like wild berries to eat on. That was done by an Arab siege leading up to the British leaving, and the only way to get food into the city was through the convoys, British convoys. So there were villages along the highway. Today it's Highway 1. I don't know what it's called back then. It's obviously not more modern today. Those villages were attacked by Lechi and Irgun with the nod from Haganah, but it was all because of the siege. I mean, they didn't start attacking Arabs without first being under attack.
Well, definitely. How can I say it? I think it's like two ethnicities, or we would say two religious groups. I would say ethnicity and a religious group, right? Like they're fighting over different ideas. That's the whole point. Don't you agree with me?
Well, it's asymmetrical because what Israel is saying is we want this piece of whatever area we're left with, we want it to be safe and prosperous and a place where Jews can live safely. And what others are saying is we don't want Jews anywhere near us. So it's not like the ethnicity is coming from the other side. The Israel's argument is consistent.
And I want to comment on that. Do you think it's out of nowhere? Do you think these people are just insane? Let me just tell you something. Do you think that the other side, which is, let's say, you call them the Arabs, you call them an Arab, I don't know, the Arabs will call them by their name, like, the Palestinians, whatever. So we call these like the Arabs there. Like, do you think that their kind of hatred and their ideas just come out of the blue? And like for Arabs, like in a way, if you look at their history, you can see that they do respect powerful, justice. They respect like good life. I don't think anyone with a sane mind doesn't want a good life, to live with dignity, to live like equal human being as anybody else.
So what are we
So do
asking
you think
now?
it's out of the blue?
Why don't they revolt against their government of keeping
Do
them?
you think that the Jewish? Do you think that the Jewish and like Israeli persona is it's equal to the Arab persona in that place?
I don't know.
Palestine?
I don't know what you mean by persona. If you're asking, there has been a very strong indoctrination program.
Individuals,
There's been-
like, do you think they're?
Well, there's been a very well done indoctrination program built into the school system from a young age, teaching a whole lot of falsehoods. There's so much propaganda in the Gaza streets this conversation with you, where you like people were displaced and a lot of untruths.
I also don't believe that Hamas has, this is my own belief, I have no proof of it, Hamas has as much support as being reported, because you don't not support Hamas without getting a bullet between your eyes. So if Hamas when Hamas falls, how many people will come out and say we never really supported them? Well, some will be lying, opportunistic, and things better. But I'm sure there's a bunch of families that just want their kids to go to schools without missiles. Listen, this is just a human thing that I'm guessing, but I think most mothers just want their kids to go to schools and are not using military bases.
No, but do you think like Palestinians or like let's say the Arabs there are just crazy enough to just hate the other
Yes, they're very crazy. Arabs are very crazy.
Well,
They'll blow you up, kill your mother.
Well, I just told you,
Yeah,
there's been a generation
Yeah.
of indoctrination.
Kill their mothers.
Is this my Arab?
Summer,
Do you
yeah,
think,
Arabs.
Do you think that
Fuck
the Arab?
you.
Wait a second.
Fuck you.
Okay.
You've killed
I
their
love
mothers.
you. I love you so.
Fuck you. You've killed their brothers or uncles or cousins. 9/11. Did you forget that? Was it Israelis that flew those planes and killed our mothers and our uncles and our cousins? You fucking Muslim piece of shit.
You're
You
not
killed our
protecting,
family
but you're
members. You
flipping
killed
the
our.
table.
Fuck you.
No, but it doesn't mean that
Fuck
you're
your
like,
Frederick,
oh,
you
You've
can't-
killed our mothers. You've killed our uncles. You've killed our
You're
cousins.
so
You've
pure and
killed our
clean.
family members. You bombed all of them with planes. What did we do to you? Why did you fly those planes? Why did you kill? Why did you kill my family?
Frederick.
Why did you kill my family? Shut up, Mayor. Why did you kill my
Frederick,
family?
not
Why did you kill
enough.
my family?
What the fuck you're talking about?
No, this is not gonna. This is not gonna help. Listen, you can have any opinion you want, but you can't blame Summer. Tell me, did you ever fly a plane into a building?
No.
No, it's kind of no. Okay, so then we have to find the next person.
Summer was in the back of the plane.
Okay,
She
so
flies in the plane, she's in the back, not the front.
okay, so then we barking up the wrong tree. I have to do some more work.
Look,
Because
there's,
I was being silly because he was blaming you for something. Now, listen, I'm pretty liberal. If you want to attack like a Jewish person, that's fine. If you want to attack Muslims, that's fine. But you can't
I
attack
like
Summer for something that your cousin did. You can't attack that's why I do it. That's why I said that. I was saying let's just say that Islam is terrible. Summer didn't do that, so they don't do anything. That was my point.
That is true. That's like more rational, honestly.
where are you from, Summer?
Oh, I'm married.
I know, like, care to be any more specific? If not, that's fine.
No.
Okay.
I didn't.
I have to get a little more work done. I'm gonna hand it over to
Okay.
Kelly.
What am I, liver?
No, I
No,
think
it's
he
okay.
said, yeah, you're in command of the ship.
I am not in command. I am not in charge. Who was that guy who said I'm in command here? Oh, was it when Reagan was shot? What was his name? He was Secretary of State. The 25th Amendment be damned. What was his name?
Wasn't the Secretary of State on Kennedy's birthday?
Yeah, he was the Secretary.
Bob,
Or Secretary of Defense.
Maybe.
He was
I'm
definitely
thinking
not
of
in
the
the
Cuban
secession.
Missile Crisis.
No.
wasn't it? JFK's
it was-
brother?
I'm in command here. Hold on. Just that phrase will get me something in quickly. Alexander Haig was his name. Even before I finished with Google, but I can't remember his title.
So let me ask you a question that's meant to, I guess, talk about your perception or maybe your question around why the issues with Israel are not specifically religious, and why they shouldn't be seen that way. Do you think that Hamas represents Muslim people?
It will be like, let me tell you, if the religious claims, like if Jewish people took that land on religious claims, I would see that the Arabs would definitely stand with that for some reason, because the Arabs in general tend to be more with the spiritual, fanatic, religious ideas. They were respected more than other faiths, I believe. Yeah, I'm just saying. That's my opinion.
I'll ask the question again. Do you think that Hamas represents Muslim people?
And no, I think Hamas anywhere represents Muslims. I think Hamas represents the Gazan people, but not Muslims, because I think that when Hamas was elected, it was like something. It was like it was kind of a leadership for these small group of Arabs there, and they happened to adopt this Islamic ideology, which you can see in other Arabic countries. They don't really adopt that, given that there's a lot of ethnicities in these countries. So if you have minorities, you need to give them rights and whatnot. But politics is really complicated. But let's say I think that Hamas is like a terrorist organization, first of all, because it committed crimes. Second of all, I'm not saying that to make you happy, but it is the truth. Second of all, it's because they cannot sustain a good life for their people. It's so stupid. They've taken so much money, and they didn't really did anything for the future. But I would prefer, like, this is what I don't understand here. I feel like it's also an Israeli thought that why did Israel give them the place in the first place? Why didn't Israel take the whole place?
Can we just look? We're going really far. We're going really far.
I just think this is.
No, I appreciate. Well, can we just have a conversation? Can we have a conversation?
If Israel wanted to make peace with all the neighboring countries, it could take in the whole land, claim it to itself.
Okay, Summer, are you interested in having a conversation?
That's what Jordan did.
Yeah, for sure.
So, do you think? So, I agree with you about Hamas. Do you think Egypt, or if you look at the history of Israel as a state, do you think that any of the entities that attacked Israel, do they represent Muslim?
I sure hope Saudi Arabia would be on that list, being the custodians of Mecca and Medina.
Sorry, your question, I guess, sorry.
No, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, if we're talking about today, we're talking about Hamas. I guess we could also talk about, IRGC proxies, but since you labeled Hamas a terrorist group, I'm just going to assume that some of these others you would label as terrorist groups. Maybe you would also say, because you were explaining this, that other people would see it as a different purpose. But would you say that any of them represent Muslims? But also, if you want to go back in history, do you think that any of the entities that have attacked Israel, or the majority of them, do you think that they represent Muslims? Do you think that that's what they stand in for?
If you're going to,
I think the reason is obvious, because if you think that everything about Israel should be seen as religious, it doesn't make sense to me that the people in opposition, if you think Israel should be, I guess, seen as a religious entity with religious intentions, that's either telling me that this is a battle between religions, or it is specifically that religion that people are trying to attack. So I'm trying to understand from your point of view why it is that you think that Israel would operate in this way, or should be seen this way.
I think it's because, like, in a way, when I talked about the DNA and when I talked about the Jewish people, it made more sense to me as a Muslim. Or, like, for example, for me as a Muslim, there's another Muslim, like, let's say in Indonesia, right? We can agree on a lot of ideas that will make us having a common goal. So if the Jewish people, let's say, their idea is based on religion, it will make more sense than their idea based on them being a lot of people having the same Jewish DNA in their DNA, especially with the Arab region. So it doesn't make sense. That's what I was saying. That's what I understood. And also it's like, you can't claim a place, let's say, based on your DNA, right? Like, you can't just go and claim a place, oh, I have this DNA and I'm a group of people, I should go to that place because, like, our group of people live there, right? But if you have a religious claims to that place, yeah, it's like this is the place where like in the Middle East, it's legit because like you can see the Arabs, a lot of them, they would be like, okay, like we have Mecca and we have like these religious places that is religious. It is like we need to go there because this is where we do our religious thing. So in the Middle East, it makes more sense.
The same can be said of Israel.
I'm giving you an Arab Muslim point about it. I'm just saying.
So the Temple Mount is where, prior to the Dome of the Rock and prior to Aqsa Mosque, was the first and second temple. Even a 1925 brochure by the Supreme Muslim Council says that these two structures are built on top of King Solomon's temple, the second temple. Hebron, where the tomb of the patriarch, where Abraham and Sarah and other patriarchs and matriarchs are buried, is very, very reverential for us. Rachel's tomb, Rebecca's tomb. You know, these are all religious things.
Yeah, exactly. If you have religious stuff there, it's more logical to the Arab Middle Eastern mind to think about it that way.
Yeah, but we don't have to. Yeah, I guess my point is you're saying one view, okay, religious is fine, but another view, people's that we lived there a long time ago, we want to come back, is not fine. At the end of the day, we don't have to justify Israel through your lens. We know, but we don't have to. You're asking us to, and the reality is we don't need to.
You're
I
also,
hear what you're saying.
she's also, I'm just curious if you recognize this as well. There's like a conflation of Islam and Arab in the moments where it works out. But you also just mentioned that there were Muslim people in other parts of the world. And so this is why this is interesting. Like if you could go back and forth between Islam and Arabic, why is it so difficult for you to understand that there may be a significant representation of Jewish people in Israel? Because there are also people from other religions that the Arabic people identify as, right?
And more importantly, if it truly is based on religion, then those Jews that were living in Arabic countries in 1948, over 800,000 of them, maybe let's, now there's 5,000 of them. Then if it's truly based on religion and a need to be someplace, then they should be still living there. Like they were living amongst the people, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, well, on this occasion, we're going to have it this way. On that occasion, we're going to have it a different way. You can't say we respect religion and then say, no, we're going to kick you out of our country. You have to go live someplace else. I don't buy that argument.
Is that good or did I lose my audio?
I'm talking.
Summer, I do understand why you have the question. Well, the resistance to the answer is what?
I am trying to think about what you said when you said, is it Islamic when all the countries gathered around Israel? In my opinion, I don't think it really strongly represents the Islamic faith, but I would say part of it was Islamic and the other part was like, in a way, protecting their borders. It's a natural thing to do when there is an intruder coming into that place, which is, in a way, Muslim majority. That's what I think. That would happen, in my opinion.
But the Muslim majority didn't occur till well after the Jewish people were there.
Well, a lot of them came after.
Right, a lot
It
of
was
them
a
came.
majority, yeah. It was a majority.
There's a majority
except for
now.
Jews.
Right, but like the religion didn't even start till the 7th century.
Okay, you're going back, but a lot of the residents that
It's
were
reasonable. I mean, if you say, well, what I heard, or the implication I heard from her last statement was, why is Israel there when it's surrounded by a bunch of countries that are not like Israel? That's what I heard. That. And if I inferred that incorrectly, then that's my problem.
So I heard her saying something different, so I'll say what I heard because then she can clarify, but this way she can at least hear how I may have heard it. I heard her more responding to the question I asked a few minutes ago about whether or not these entities, the nations, more recently the proxy groups that have attacked Israel, if they regard, and listen, my implication was not a matter of why they are attacking, it was just a matter of who these entities represent. That they represent Muslims, because I do think that I think we can have a different conversations about why they attacked. But I heard her saying that she was thinking about that, and that while these are Arabic people, she thinks that the religion had a lot to do with their opposition to Israel being Israel's, I guess, becoming a state in that place. So I didn't think it was making it. I think she's answering that question I asked a few minutes ago, but I don't know. I think she's the one who should clarify.
No, I'm just saying that it might be more of like demographic, political, not religious. In my opinion, that's what I have. It's
okay. So
it's something
political,
not religious. And you, I feel like you're trying to demonize the religion, like the Islamic religion, and like make it as.
I'm actually trying to do the opposite.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to disassociate it because I think it's now. What I will say, I think it's possible that people that do not represent Muslims may be attacking Israel because they are Jewish. Not all of them, certainly, but I think that there can be bad actors who operate through a political lens with an ideology, but I still don't think that represents Muslims. So I was trying to separate the idea of a religion being the cause of all of this in the same way that we can separate Israel's existence as being something more than just a Jewish state.
So what kind of a state is it? Is it like, what kind of a state will it be? Like,
You mean by law?
Yeah, is it like?
It's a secular state. The laws are all secular. It means, so it is a state that is very open to religious Jews in certain ways. We can go through them, but it's a secular state, European style secular state, like all the other states today, and including all the states in the Middle East are. It means that it has a parliament, it has a voting system, It has a independent judiciary, and all of the laws that the judiciary will vote on is based on the Constitution that was never written, but there's a framework of Constitution, prior laws, common law, like because it was set by the British, so it's common law. They will quote previous basic laws, and they will even quote many international laws if it's in alignment, like an enlightened country alignment. But there's no like religion in the state. You follow that?
Yeah, I got you. Interesting. So it's more of a independent state specifically for Jewish people, not all other groups of people.
Well, all groups of people are welcome.
No,
Specifically
no.
for Jewish people, well, you have to be careful. It's specifically for Jewish people, meaning it's safe and accepting and open to Jewish people. All other people are there as well.
This country should adopt like that country, like what I think now it should adopt like a system that will ensure the rights of all the ethnicities which are there.
Well, you're not.
It already does that since
It's
it's
in the
founded.
Declaration of Independence, which is the closest thing it has to a constitution, and it's in its basic laws. So the difference between basic laws and a regular law, by the way, is a basic law needs over 50%, which is 61 votes, regardless of who shows up that day. So it's not quite like a constitutional amendment because it doesn't have the same hurdle that we have here. But in a typical law, if only 90 legislators show up, it will pass by 46, because the majority of the appellate calls. But a basic law needs 61 regardless. There aren't that many basic laws. But the Supreme Court will rule based on previous basic laws. That means you can't make a regular law that supersedes a basic law. So in its basic laws and in its Declaration of Independence, it guarantees rights to all citizens, regardless of race, religion, ethnicity. So that's already there.
Would you consider America? I mean, America was created by Christians, but I mean, it's a secular state. Like, so do you think that regardless of what its laws allow for and protect against, would you consider it still to be a religious?
Not really, in my opinion. I don't think it's like religious state. I don't think it is because like there's a lot of people there, but there's also minorities. But if you're gonna come to America, I think it is. The laws are a little bit influenced by Christianity. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Christianity.
But it still can't violate the establishment clause.
You could say
majority Christian.
Yeah, but the
You could
laws
say
can't be
that-
Christian oriented.
Yeah, but you could say a lot of the legislators were influenced by Christianity. That's fair to say, but you cannot quote Christianity in an argument, and the argument won't stand.
And a law will not stand. Because we have in the First Amendment there's something called the Establishment Clause. The government cannot establish a religion.
Yeah, and so as of like 2016, I think the majority of like adults who it was either who identified as religious or just the majority of adults, something like 75% were Christians.
Okay.
So if you apply that, I know that number's not 80-20 like it is in Israel, but the difference is that Christians once they become atheist or agnostic or however you want to look at a transition away from religion, they don't stay Christians because there's not an ethnic link. So with Jews, you can say that, so it's 80% Jewish, 20% a mixture of other religions, or is it 20%?
It's slightly less than 20% Arab. There's a very small percentage, less than 1% that are Christian, and other like Zoroastrians and things like that.
But that Jewish number, even if people become, are secular, they're still considered
80%.
Jewish.
Yeah.
So in America, if you didn't have that option in America, the numbers would probably look very similar. And it's like, I think maybe the perception of Israel, I think it's reasonable to see it in a similar vein, considering, they make allowances for all the other religions. They don't have laws preventing people from having other religions. It is a secular state in the same way. There's influence, right? The way that their government was created, the population in and of itself, certainly going to be influenced by any majority religion, but that doesn't make it a religious.
Of the 80% Jews, the majority consider themselves traditional. So they consider themselves Jewish, but not follow religion. There is a loud but fairly small minority that are secular. They don't want religion at all. And then there's a sizable polarity that is religious. So
Well, no, Vashwa, I just saw in the chat wanted to speak, and I apologize that we didn't see it. I don't know if you're.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Actually, I just got at home. I have to put my nephew to sleep, so if I can get a few minutes while Summer's here, I would appreciate that.
Hi, Joshua, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Summer. I saw you in another room yesterday, and I have been listening to you here a little bit. I think it's still interesting that you are here and you're trying. It's not like that I agree with everything that you say, but I think maybe we can have a dialogue with you, because with some Muslims it doesn't go at all.
Thank you so much. No, look, let me tell you, Muslims, they take time. Even myself, I came from this background, and I know we do take time to digest and observe things, given that we come from a very uptight, I don't know if it's the right word in English, it's an uptight culture that doesn't really allow many openness of mind and all that, to absorb all the ideas of the other side. I do admit that. But I also would like justice to prevail even on our side, to be viewed as human and as equal. It's very good. It's win-win situation. And that's what I come to conclude. When I came to Clubhouse, I've met a few Jews in here that really changed my idea on Judaism and Israelis and everything. So I really do wish for peace, on a lot of levels, and equality. And that's what I want to talk to you about. But thank you for saying that.
You're welcome, and thank you for explaining. I just want to as well say I'm going to talk a little bit, and I think this is between an ex-Muslim. I am born as a Muslim, and but I am not a believer. I'm not practicing. I just want you. I'm gonna ask you certain things. Yeah, I'm just gonna let you know. My grandmother went 2 times to Mecca. My grandfather has a mosque in Kurdistan. Again. I don't.
I'm interested.
I'm Kurdish. Yeah, I'm Kurdish. Where are you from?
I'm Iraqi. I wouldn't say, but I'm Iraqi in general. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I did look at you. You didn't. Sorry, I don't mean anything disrespectful or negative. You didn't look very Arabic to me, to be honest. I was like, with these eyes, she probably has something Kurdish, but. You have very beautiful eyes, and I'm gonna just go to the point. So I just want to say, my grandparents went to Mecca. Yes. Yes. But the thing is, I completely. Don't you agree that the Muslim world are very hypocritic? There's much hypocrisy when it comes to Palestine.
Coming from Iraq, I will tell you. Places, if we're going to talk about places like Iraq, Syria, Yemen, Libya, the Muslims and other minorities didn't really have the best of time, and stuff happened which were very ugly, and it doesn't really represent the majority, I would say, but a lot of people just felt so, especially with Iraq. If you're coming from Iraq, yes, I would understand it, because the country was unstable politically. There was a lot of serious issues. I would understand where you're coming from totally.
Yes. So now let's get to the point. With that said, I told you about my background, so you understand. I am not here to discriminate or belittle or disrespect anyone's belief or anyone's background, but because the Muslim, I was born as a Muslim, whether I wanted it or not. Certain things in my upbringing is based on the Quran, but also I see the Quran to a certain degree. Like I see Judaism first, and then comes Christianity, and then comes Islam. We have a lot of things in common, but also when I was 12, I already read. I think I was in the 12th or 14th chapter of the Quran. I read it, but I could not understand Arabic. And I'm going to be honest to you. With that said, that's why I want to even tell everybody else. Majority of Muslims are not really Muslims, the true Muslims by the Quran, in my eyes. And I'm going to tell you why. Because majority of us are to a certain degree secular. We are peaceful. We have decided with a common logic, with a good heart, we have decided to be a good person. And I always said we try to follow a recipe how to be a good, decent person and come to heaven, right? That's what I was taught. And that's what majority, they are secular. But we really need to differentiate between that. We need to differentiate between that, regular Muslims. We should not pay for the crimes that Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, Osama bin Laden, Ansar al-Islam, Hashtag al-Shahdi, all these people did. Yeah, and I'm going to get to that point. And one of the biggest Muslim terrorists is Erdogan. But why many Muslims don't talk about that one? Let's say Hamas. We need to be true to ourselves. And you know Salah ibn Ayyubi, he was Kurdish. And you have Palestinians with the last name Muhammad al-Kurdi or other names which are not even Arabic. It's not Arabic. So we need to be very, very, I think the solution that the Muslim world, they need to recognize and accept that the Jewish people are indigenous to the land and that whether they are blue-eyed or blonde, they're not European. I'm going to tell you somewhere, if you are a good person, I see there's something good in you, so I try to reach out to that part of you. We need to understand Kirkuk is Kurdistan, and it doesn't matter if it takes 1,000 years. My nufus, my ID card should belong to Kirkuk, but it belongs to Erbil because already, even before Saddam, we were driven out of our villages because they found oil fields. Okay, even today the Arabs come back. My village, the same thing. So that doesn't mean even if it takes 100 generations. For me, it's Kurdistan, and if I get a chance, I keep the Arabs that have taken my land. Whether if they are poor or not, I don't care. They came there because the government got them there. They were willing to take over somebody's home and kill somebody or make somebody homeless, okay? So for me, that's Kurdistan. It doesn't matter. If it takes 1,000 years, it's going to be Kurdistan. And the same goes for Afrin. Afrin in Syria and Rojava, Kurdistan. Right now, do you know all these pro-Palestine Muslims, they have been hypocritical. Do you know that the Palestinians, supported by Qatar and Erdogan, they are being themselves illegal settlers in Kurdistan? Did you know that? Some Kurdish people, they get heart attack, they get beaten, they get killed, they are forcibly being removed. They do a demographic change. And we need to learn from that and history. That's why I connect this one to Judaism, to Israel. We need to understand that Islam has a part in it. I tell you, Summer, I promise you, my mom was not even praying. I was 6 years old. Until I was 20, I used to fast, okay? From 6 years old, I don't know, because we were living close to Muslim. So when they were speaking about good stuff, I liked it. That's why I went to the mosque, okay? But when I grew up, when I came to Europe, I understood they put fear and negative thoughts in my head about Jews. Okay, they told me that I should never go. I can trust a Christian so much and go sleep in their house, but never trust a Jew. In all this, I think in the world, a lot of world, when you want to tell somebody you are rich, they say, tell them you have as much as a Jew. Or they see Jews as stingy. There's a lot of prejudice, a lot of things. So I want to tell you, political Islam, it's not the Islam that you believe it is and you practicing. Let's be honest. Two of the most indigenous nations in the area are the Kurds and the Jews. nobody, gypsies, Europeans, whatever, everything negative, okay? That is not right. That is not right. And we need to recognize that actually the Palestinian people are, some of them, they went there with Islam. They are not indigenous more than the Jews are. And that the Jews and their ancestors who actually were driven out, whether if it was not everything, the Muslims fault, but there are certain things, it's because of Muslim Islam, they were driven out, okay? Driven out, it's not always to killing them. You make life impossible, people leave, okay? And we also need to recognize that actually during the Holocaust, the ones responsible in Palestine went to met with Hitler, okay? We need to also understand Palestinians, okay, some of them maybe have some indigenous as much as Jews, that's fine, but many of them, they have Jordanian, other roots, they are mixed nations. And actually, a lot of people who speak Arabic today, even the Iraqis, they are not completely Arabs. They are Arabic-speaking people with
Arabized, but there are Mesopotamians generally, like the Iraqis. We're going to talk about each other. We're Mesopotamians mainly.
Yes,
and,
yes.
We adopted the Arabic culture, and let me tell you, the Arabic culture came from it was like a mixture of Aramaic and Hebrew at one time, and it was like also like there was a kingdom back in the day. I don't know. It was also in Mesopotamia, and some of that language was there. It was like an Arab kingdom. I don't know if you heard about it. But it also came from a lot of places. It came from Yemen. It came from our peninsula. It came from Mesopotamia. Like these places mainly.
Yes.
And the people of that place adopted the culture, and that culture
expanded.
Yes. Whether it was expanded by force or whether it was for sure it was expanded by force. Nothing to do.
Yes, under the sword, like the Yazidis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like this is the thing. This is the way of the world. People, how do they spread their ideas? I mean, even in my eyes, I look that force is needed in order to like.
But okay, Summer, let's have a dialogue here. I just one question. I let you continue. But okay, what happened like so many years ago with Islam's expansion and everything? Do you think?
I mean,
if goes with today's world, what ISIS or Hamas do?
The Muslims, I'm not saying all the Muslims are bad, but like these small minorities, not small, like this small group of terrorists, which doesn't represent a lot of other Muslims, it's not doing the right thing. It's actually making Islam look bad. I don't know if it's like by other politicians who are paying them for that. I have no idea, but like it's not essentially like the idea. I mean, there's a lot of people who are opposing that, and we can oppose each other till the end of time, but like it is what it is. Some people believe in that idea, you're going to believe in that idea, and it's for the rest of the day. So are we going to act like human, or are we going to kill each other? That's the question.
Okay, but the thing is, let's be honest, Summer, because I don't want to take too much time, and also before my nephew it gets too late for him. My point is, the solution, I don't think it's in the Jewish hands. The solution is in the Muslim leaders in Iran and the other ones' hands. Yes, we need to recognize, and we need to stop with this bullshit that these are some of them are European, they are not, and believe that Palestinians have more to the right because they don't have. And per DNA, and one thing that you mentioned, that per DNA you did not agree on certain things, I just want to say, a lot of us are Muslims, and we Kurdish people, I have my Turner Abel group is G1D, and a lot of us should carry, I have more Jewish DNA matches than anything else.
This is what I wanted to tell you.
Yeah. So I'm very proud of that. Actually, my grandmother, she went to Mecca 2 times, and I was like laughing. I said, "Well, they never did," or maybe it's because the connection through Abraham, But we need to understand that is why it's not correct. See, me not knowing, my grandmother not knowing something that we have something Jewish, it's because there's something wrong in the governments. There's something wrong in society, and especially in Kurdistan and the Kurdish regions. It's like one of the best environment for people with multiple faith. It's very open still. Like we have helped each other to protect each other and people with different religions. So but still something she didn't know, and we find it out through a DNA test. Just if I get to the point, we need to understand we need to change the mentality, and our leaders, or they're not actually leaders, but since let's say we consider that I am born as a Muslim, since I'm not even a believer, but let's say our leaders, they need to. Iran doesn't care about Palestine. Okay, they care about their own interest. Iran are destroying Iraq. Okay, yes, they are controlling Iraq too. So, and Hezbollah and Hamas have killed more Muslims, and even ISIS. All of that, you need to summarize. Yazidi girls, what are they doing in Gaza and in Palestine? The Palestinian people are not that innocent. I don't say all of them, but and many people have still think, I don't know if it's something with Islam or what it is. Why is it summer when I saw the Jewish women with their pants with blood on 7th October, for me, they are like Yazidis. That's it. I don't care what the religions they have and what religions Palestinians have. Wrong is wrong. And the way the people that cheered, it is wrong. And I'm going to tell you, the Palestinians support Saddam Hussein. They raped, and this is a writer has written a book about it, how they read something very negative about Kurdish people with the blood from Kurdish women they raped in prisons. We have so many sects like did you know how many Muslim Kurdish women became sex slaves and sold to the different Arab countries? There is something wrong with Islam. I'm going to tell you, with political Islam and the leaders. And there's something wrong in this Arab Muslim culture that they accept these ones, or they think it's okay with taking Yazidis or Jewish women as sex slaves and force them to marry them and make them pregnant. It is wrong. It doesn't matter. I don't care. It is wrong. Many Muslim people know this is wrong. But if the Quran gives permission to that, then there is something wrong with the Quran. I am sorry, but that is, and we need to understand. We need to understand and recognize that the Jewish people have the right to exist. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that because I don't think we need to say, and I think the Jewish people that this happening, they didn't wake up because as a nation, I survived anti-genocide. I was going to be genocided, but I was 6 years old when the Kurdistan region was liberated. My name was on the documents, proofs of that, okay? They went to genocide all Kurds who have even somebody related to them. Yes, it's sick. But my point is, I use the Kurdish one as examples for Muslims, but there's hypocrisy. Why people such a hype about only the suffering of the Palestinian people? No, there's something wrong. So the point is, the solution is that we Muslims recognize and actually pay respect that the Jewish people have been also suffering on the hands of Islam or political Islam, whatever you call it, in the Muslim regions, okay? And we need to recognize them as indigenous. Yeah, yes, I'm just going to I'm going to listen to you. Okay, I will come. And then we need to also accept that stop with the bullshit European, because if we're going to talk about the European, then we can put the majority of Palestinians outside of the region of the Israel and Palestine, if we would do that, okay? And they have the right to go back. And when they came back, many of them actually came, bought the land. I am sorry, Samar, but that is what happened. And when the Arab and Muslim world resisted Israel, okay, they had a good chance, and there was two-state solution, and the area again. And I myself, my father was hanging the Abu Ghraib. I had like 95, 96, 99, and 100 in my grades in Kurdistan in Arabic, but I refused to speak Arabic. I just did that because I had to have a good grade, right? But I said that they killed my father. I was a child. I tried to learn Arabic later, but I didn't. My point is, we need to recognize this stuff, and we need to accept the Jewish people. And to be honest, we need to stop all this bullshit and the Palestinian people. But there was so many chances for the Muslim, Arab, Palestinian world to accept. They didn't. So the more. And I know how it is a mind of indigenous. That's why I told you, to a certain good degree, I relate to the mind of Muslims. But as a Kurd, I relate also. I see that way. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like as indigenous and as a Kurd, I relate to the Jewish people as well. Okay, and they say, you know what? Our indigenous has to this land, then they have, and that they're gonna do this one. And when you are the one now is the one with power and strong, you will not sit back. And I met a Jewish man last year in California. We talked about, I say, no one thing is the difference between Jewish, Kurdish, and people. But every Jew, they decide to take several more. The ones, when you come for their hand, they catch maybe one hand, the whole hand, or maybe both your hands, okay? And they have the right to defend themselves. It hurts me, like to see the Palestinian civilians, that we cannot blame the Muslim world, the Muslim leaders, the political Islam, Hamas, Iran, all.
I agree with you. Thank you. When you said the political Islam, you actually said a very smart thing. Political Islam is terrible.
Exactly. So, but we cannot do, and even today, see the media and everything, they are supporting more Muslims of Palestine than the Jewish. The Jewish people are not the strong ones. And I think the only losers are going to be the Palestinians. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead. But it's like, if you kind of look at it, in my opinion, I think that Israel has more power. And they could have done a lot of other more than this one, which is causing a lot of lives in a human way. That's what I think. I think if they didn't even I think if they took the whole country, in my opinion, it's just I don't know what's wrong with the leaders, but they also have an issue there, and that issue is like very evident in what we see, what is happening. I'm not saying like Iran is good and like Israel is good. And
Iran's terrible, to be honest.
It is, Frederick. Actually,
Horrible.
They're
It's
more
horrible.
shitty. They're more shitty than
They shoot their
anybody.
women with.
Anyway. So it's like, I'm just saying that I don't think neither parties, the Israeli government or Iran, but I think Iran is more shitty than Israel, honestly, because Israel doesn't go about, it does go about in a way, it doesn't go about like trying to hurt, trying to expand, and trying to give militia weapons and like drugs. No, we didn't see that, let's be honest. But the problem, they have a problem with the Arabs, and this problem is actually like migrating to Lebanon, to Syria. They do have a problem in these areas. I do understand it's their borders, but couldn't they intentionally make better solution as to take the whole place? Like, why is this problem? Like, this is the main problem in the whole Middle East, in a way, like Jewish supremacy. And I don't think it's a right way to go about it. And I give you the mic. I've said my.
So you want Israel to conquer Syria and Lebanon, recolonize it, and give it back?
But I think that if Israel, in 2005, if it didn't give Gaza to Hamas, if Israel took the whole place, as it did to the Arabs 48, and this whole place becomes existing, having normal rights as Israelis, I think this problem would have
So you think
many years ago, especially.
She wants a one-state solution. She wants a
You're saying
one-state
instead
solution.
of, yeah, but let's be very specific.
Exactly.
Instead of Israel disengaging from Gaza
As
in
the actors said,
2005.
one-state solution.
Wait, I know, but those are slogans. I want to go very slow. You're saying
not a
instead of
slogan.
Israel disengaging in 2005, they should have annexed them.
Yeah.
That's your argument.
And
Same
that's
thing for the
why,
West
why,
Bank.
excuse me, like, why would they be annexed? Like, why couldn't they be just like the Arab 48 Arabs?
Because that's annexed. That's the difference. See, that's to get you to understand.
Gaza wasn't part of the 48 borders of Israel.
The 48 borders of Israel, which is Arthur's line, that means like where the legionnaires were stopped from killing everyone that were coming. Legionnaires was the Virginian army. There were 5 armies that attacked. On that line, every person living there became a citizen with full right to citizenship, and that is part of sovereign territory. Part that was grabbed
this is the thing what I'm going to get at. Why are these people became citizens and they have no?
Because they didn't flee. Because they didn't flee. So the ones that left, they left with the.
So you mean like they refused to flee? I mean, they were supposed to flee.
No,
that's what you're saying?
No. They weren't supposed to flee. They weren't supposed to fight. The ones that fought fought. No, the opposite. Listen. Let's go very slow. The ones that fought and tried to kill their neighbors, if they weren't soldiers, they got out of the way so the armies get killed. Now, there weren't displaced villagers, so let's not pretend that it was 0, but it was minimal. Most of the people that left with the intent that the legionnaires can come in and wipe out all the Jews. That's what happened in Gush Etzion. Every Jew was murdered. In the old city, it fared a little better. Lachon was pretty bad. People just got like slaughtered in Lachon. So you have to go through. So the ones that didn't do that and stayed and were like, we will be okay to live in a state, they got citizenship. The ones that moved to the area that was grabbed by Jordan or Gaza, which was grabbed by Egypt, then they did not get citizenship. They, due to good intelligence, so Egypt first wiped out the Air Force on the ground, pushed as fast as they can to get to the Jordan River because Iraq said they're going to join the war and Israel did not want that, so they got good and managed to take the Golan Heights, also due to strong intelligence. They had a mole deep inside Damascus. So that war was miraculously won within 6 days. Now the point here I'm making is that it was never annexed. Now, we can have this conversation, I don't mind. I'm just saying what you have to understand the politics you're asking for. If you want Israel to control the area like 48, they have to annex it. That means they have to go against the UN resolution that says the area should be given back. That was Israel aggressive that some area will turn into a state of Palestine. And they have to annex it.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't think it's very evident to me that people in Gaza are not happy with Hamas. I can see it. And all of them, like most of them go work in Israel. And the ones who live like in Israel itself are like way much more satisfied, way much more educated, like really, it's like another level of education. It's like out of this world.
I get that. That's a good observation. But what's not fair is.
And it's like, why?
So I'm trying to get through a paper jam. That's my question.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. I don't. In my head, it's not that complicated. Maybe in reality it is, but I don't know.
No, I understand what you're saying.
In reality, there's
what you're asking for is not as simple as what you're saying. So you're making a good observation, but it's not fair that the entire thing is Israel's problem. So the only way for Israel to do what you're talking about is to annex Gaza, which would cause international shockwaves, and then to give every person near citizenship,
but
control it
it's
for
a win-win situation. It's like when you have like this
well,
win-win situation.
Hamas would look at it as a way.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. Like if you do have like a win-win situation, and then everybody is happy, everybody is like making money, everybody is moving forward. It's better than all this medieval stuff that we're going through, which is not helping anyone in the region, with a region that is really raging and so much problems out of nowhere that make us go backward.
And here's the problem, though. What you're describing is the one-state solution, where everyone lives there. The Arabs would demand that all of the refugees and the children and grandchildren that are living in Syria, Lebanon, and other places would return to Israel. The numbers would pretty quickly, if not immediately, but within a bunch of years, would create a Jewish minority. The problem, as I see it, this is just a personal opinion, is that I can't point out a Middle Eastern country that has a Muslim majority, that has a thriving minority religious population. Thriving, meaning it grows year over year over year. Israel would cease to be a Jewish nation, which at its core is what it was created to be, a land for the Jewish people. People else who live there were given the full same rights, and I can read you the Declaration of Independence, but that would cease to exist. And no one's going to say, sure, that's what we want to do. We want to create a plan that creates the destruction of our country. It just is, sounds nice, but it isn't going to happen in anyone's mind in Israel. And I put, for example, you asked why is Gaza, not part of Israel. Take a look at the partition plan created by the UN in 1947. Look at where Gaza is. It's in the light orange color. It was to be the Arab. There was two states. One Arabic. They didn't say Muslim, but one is Arabic. The blue color is Israel, and the Arabic color is the light orange. When the war broke out, Jordan and a bunch of other countries, Egypt and other countries, invaded and controlled those areas until 1967. Now, Jordan did exactly what you're talking about. When they controlled the West Bank, they annexed it and gave citizenship to the people living there. So they did that.
That's a good solution.
No, it's not going to work in the reverse, because the 70% of Jordanians pretty much look like the people on the west side of just the next piece of property, a bunch of people who are very similar to the people on the eastern side of the river. So, but it's very different when you talk about different ethnic groups or tribal groups. Can't mix them. We've tried hundreds of years of living together, and it hasn't worked out well for us.
Oy vey, Rabbeinu Shalom. Rabbeinu Shalom. The chat is dying out. The show is coming to an end. And I hope you come again and again and again and again and again. Oh, Doctor's here. Doctor is here. My doctor is here. My eye's infected. Doctor.
Good yourself. Ewan said he found a video. It was 99% sure, convinced him that his position was correct on the Marxism/liberalism discussion we're having. Said he was going to send it to me. I'm still waiting for it.
Yeah, that was a very, very, very dumb discussion.
Well, I mean, it was an interesting discussion. His position was, I don't like to use, his position wasn't grounded in facts. I guess he was just essentially incorrectly using the word built upon when he should have been a critique of. If he had used the critique of, I would have bought his argument hook, line, and sinker, but he didn't. He said built upon. Sorry, come on, puppy.
Yeah, sorry. I thought I heard you say everything he said was dumb. Sorry.
No, I didn't say that. That was your words.
Sorry, that's all I heard you say.
Yeah. Oh, our woman left. Summer left. I don't like questions formed as essentially their statements with a question at the end of them. Disingenuous.
Yeah, generally as a writer. I do think, though, that he was pretty open and arguing in good faith from position of what it is that she's been hot so far. I think it doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I told her that when she was in. Oh, good. Sorry, my dog is like
Anyway.
Actually, I was surprised. I think the only Muslim, like believing, practicing Muslim or pro-Palestine, I don't know if she's pro-Palestine, but I assume, I'm wrong, sorry. I thought that we could have a dialogue with. It's even impossible with my friends here, like my friends that I have known for years, like they have some blockages, nothing goes in. Like usually they're not bad people, but they just believe everything they are fed. And I think it's really good if we get some people like Summer, to reconsider and recognize some other things, and maybe they, in their own way, might, affect others. I don't know, but I think, the majority are so brainwashed, and that's one of the I think, root cause of this whole thing, because they see Jewish people. I'm not saying like there's no other thing, but I think one of the biggest obstacles is like they see Jewish people as something that you should not trust, or Europeans, like these two, and then there is like a blockage, like you cannot reach them. I have tried with people, like just using logic and historical documents, but I hope, to be honest, I don't know about Middle East, but with this Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, and the other, Qatar and all of them, some of them seems to be secular, but they don't take Palestine, this area colonized. To be honest, I see that. With that said, I don't intend to or say that all Palestinians are or offsprings of colonizers, because that some of them have indigenous roots as well. But we know many people went there with Islam and all that. But it's like a good, I think, conversation somehow. And I think, Kelly, you did a good job. I did hear some of your questions, asking her, and Jacob, you as well. But I think it was good to ask her certain questions, and I hope that she was genuine. But I would love to have more people like them, and I would suggest that sometimes please give ex-Muslims. I know a lot of Iranians are active as well, but I think sometimes it's good with some people that we have approach instead of attacking them. I know some of them deserve that, like there was another one yesterday, but I think to have a dialogue with them, to really make them see the other side, and sometimes let the ex-Muslims to also, question them and have a conversation. Thank you for giving me the space. I would love to,
Thank you.
Definitely.
I hope it didn't sound like we were attacking her. I mean, I was just objecting at times when she was factually incorrect. But I thought we gave her
No.
to ask her questions.
And
I think she
her
was
statement,
saying,
Sorry.
yeah, I think she was saying the opposite.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes. I mean, because we had, I don't know if it was not in this group, another one, and I heard some people saying only something to some people, because some of them, you cannot have a dialogue with them, so you just need to, be very strict and raise your voice on them. I have that, but not attacking. But it's like, still it's like attacking, because nothing goes in, and they just come with like certain things that you have to respond. But as Kelly said, I said the opposite. Well, I didn't see that, and I think also it had to do with Summer there's some openness. But I think you guys also, as a moderator, did a great job with the questions and having patience to let her, reflect on some questions. I know she's back, but I will need to go. But I think it's good to have people like Summer here and have a dialogue. Yeah, sorry? Sorry, Summer, what did you say?
I thought you talked about me, but
She was complimenting you.
To the conversation. Don't feel like.
But Jacob, I I just don't like when it's just, I don't know. I'm an easy person. I feel like I want to make the world like a better place and make everyone happy, all that. Just, it's sad, when it happens.
Well, you used my name, so what is your critique? Because I want to hear.
And that's a part, but it solved this, like it provided a solution in a way.
Not really. It set up a double standard. Because when Jordan annexes a place, that's one thing. But if Israel does the same thing with the Golan Heights, that's a different thing. Very different. So it's
interesting.
You can't.
Here's a phenomena to pay attention to. It's interesting how people who want so much to make the world a better place are often full of double standards.
What do you mean?
I mean, talking about wanting to make the world a better place and actually adjusting one's thoughts, emotions, behavior in order to do so are two different aspects of how to live. So a lot of people like to just talk about making the world a better place and might like to try to be sympathetic or feel sorry for other people. But there are people that are actually in the world. That's what actually matters. And a lot of times who just like to say nice things. It's not necessarily that their behavior is always in line with what they say. And so cognitive dissonance actually creates a lot of double standards in people.
But we're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. And
That's a platitude that rationalizes.
Kyle, he let you speak, so for the sake of having conversation, you should let her reply without attacking her.
My apologies. It's just
it's okay.
ways in which I've observed so many people rationalize behavior away. And
I hear you, but so the whole point of the conversation we had today, and the reason that she may have thought that people were discussing her when she came in, even though it was more of a discussion of the conversation, because the very good point was made that just because we've had interactions with people that share some kind of an identity, even if we've had only those interactions, we should take a breath and acknowledge that, maybe the momentum in our head is making us treat people a certain way. And I think Summer has been like really open to the conversation we've had in ways that aren't typical. And we should try not to put onto her behaviors of people in the past.
No, I'll just say, Summer, I wasn't referring to you.
It's funny that you find that surprising. It's like, it might be like, this is the thing about Arab Muslim, not being the typical Arab Muslim, which attacks and feel like they're inferior in the misjustice. I mean, like one day, I feel like we're going to get it, and like we're getting there actually with Abraham Accords, with a lot of stuff. It's that mentality is a little bit changing. It's that now, as Arabs, I think it's like, especially like the Sunni majority countries, or let's say the countries which are not war torn, I feel like now we can see it from afar because we lived a good life and, we developed enough, like we had good education, that we want win-win situation. And I'm not like supporting of the Israeli government politics. Honestly, I feel like really sometimes enraged by that, and it's so much to take. That's what I think. I think it can be better situation if they want to, because like when you have so much power, you have so much influence, you can do better choices in a way, especially in that area. Maybe I'm being too dreamy, but this is my opinion about it. Also, like, what I think is like the country itself, like, is also have this bad reputation among Arabs and among people in the region. Like we can see, not only Israel though, there's a lot of like in the neighborhood of these countries, there's a lot of stuff going on, especially like Iran, Israel. That's the thing. Nobody's perfect. That's what I'm saying. We all have double standards. But it's like, for me, I think it's better to be in win-win situations, like to take the, what do you call it? You can take like the best of chances and try to grow out there. That's what I think.
That's very nice, and I agree with it. But the Israeli government, for many years, since its inception, has been solely focused on the one thing that governments need to do, which is to ensure territorial integrity and protect its citizens. So when there's a constant series of invasions, and the last one, October 7th, then they have to respond. When it's not such warlike conditions, Oslo Accords, Camp David Accords, other plans, but there needs to be a willing participant on the other side to negotiate with, and to negotiate with from a platform that is, you have the right to exist. And when both sides are on the same plane, then good things will happen. Until that time, it's going to be rather difficult, with all good intentions aside.
And we have the world's powers kind of supporting both sides. So we have like America and Israel and democratic nations. And then we have the authoritative dictators of the world, like Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin, supporting Iran and therefore Iran's proxies. So it is a little more complex than people like to think that it. And Applebaum just wrote a book about it. It's called Autocracy.
Are you getting a percentage of the sales of the book? Because you're really pushing that book. It's a joke.
Well, I've been speaking about it quite a bit before she even wrote it. So, I mean, it's just, all it is for me is just further evidence to back what I've been talking about for the last 3 years on it. Actually, before October 7th, get this, before October 7th, former Secretary of Defense Robert Gates wrote an article in Foreign Affairs about that exact thing. And that was right before October 7th. Very profound.
Thank you. I gotta run. Bye-bye, everybody.
Have a good day.
Take care. Isa Guatemalon.
Oh, hello. What happened to the room? Very, very, very quiet.
He died.
What were you guys talking about before he died? Oh, summer is here. Hi, summer. I'm gonna stop doing that. I know it pisses you off.
I'm getting used already, so don't worry. It's like, I cannot believe I go into the room and I cannot hear you doing that. I will remind you each time, don't worry, my friend.
That would be okay. I have a special greeting for everyone, and this is yours. Anyway, okay. What were you guys talking about before? What?
No, I'll take it from you. I just don't know how to give it back. That's a problem.
Well, that's beautiful. anything, and I really am not easily offended. So that's a problem.
Yeah, it's a good thing actually. I wish I was that, honestly.
Do you really get easily offended?
Push my buttons a little bit. Like it can be like a little bit, nervous about it, like irritated, but yeah, I'm working on that. Don't worry.
That's good. Did I get under your skin with that?
No, and let me tell you. Exactly. Let me tell you, like, I don't really get offended at many stuff, but when it comes to like, whatever, I'm not gonna overshare.
It's okay, don't worry. Listen, I'm not dangerous or anything, and I'm doing that just to bother you. It's not that I hate you or anything.
I know. Don't worry.
Summer, I have a question for you. So I heard that you had some question about what is Jewish race. Is it religion? Is it ethnic?
I did.
Was it?
But
Yeah.
Like,
was it convincing? I know, but I heard that some argument made to you, some explanation made to you. Was it convincing to you? Or be the explanation that they tried to provide to you by?
No.
Okay.
Honestly, I didn't feel it. It kind of no. I felt like it's a group of people that actually had a motive and a goal, and they did reach that motive and goal, and they stayed there, and that's it. This is what I understood. Whether it's legit or not legit, I don't think at this point we can talk about it because we need to move on. This is what I think. But let me tell you something. I just don't like the Jewish supremacy. I don't think it's a good idea in the world. It's not working anywhere. You can't be in a country. You can't have a country that operates this way. It's not fair. It's not.
Okay.
It's gonna create problems down the road.
Let me ask you a question.
Like that. It will create problems down the road, whether you like it or not, because.
Maybe
I have two questions
you're
actually for you. Hold on, Jude.
conceptualizing it improper.
Jude, hold on. I have two questions. One is, do you believe in Jewish supremacy?
I don't believe in it, but I can't see it.
But you just mentioned it.
Believe? What do you mean believe?
I mean, do you see any Jewish supremacy?
I do see it within the country of Israel. Yes, it's very evident.
You know what Jewish supremacy means, right?
Yeah, I do.
It means Jewish superiority. So by actually even mentioning Jewish supremacy, you're accepting a place of inferiority. Why do you feel inferior to the Jews?
If I was Palestinian, I would definitely feel inferior to the Jews because the setup of the daily life that I go through and the stuff that I have to face, the Jewish people on the other side do not have to face the stuff that I go through every day.
But whose choice is that? Because I believe the Palestinians, the ones living in Gaza and West Bank, they had a choice. They had an option. And their choice was to get on a fight with Israel. So they're putting themselves in that position.
This is true, Isa. It's very true. At the same time, it's not like if you're going to talk about Hamas, entire Palestinian community versus the Israeli government. The government could have taken a better solution at this problem.
No, but listen, this is the thing with language, right? I mean, so if, for example, I were to tell you, I'm gonna give you an example with Black people. If we were to say living in a moment in the world where there is actually slavery, let's say whites are allowed to own blacks, then I will tell you, okay, there's a reason for you to feel inferior to whites, right? But when you live in a society where everyone has access to the exact same rights, exact, obligation, you're treated everyone as an equal. Men, women, black, yellow, whatever your color is. So why would a Black person say there is white supremacy? It's not whites going and oppressing Blacks. It's Blacks putting themselves in an inferior position than whites. Why? Because they have the exact same thing. And I would apply that as well to Palestinians. They had the chance to have flourish, and instead what they chose to do is not caring about their people, indoctrinating their children, and then attack the neighboring country. Even though when they knew that they were gonna be, that it was gonna backfire. So that is choosing not to live in peace.
That's like I will tell you something. In my opinion, it's like kind of a double standard when you look at it this way, because both sides of the argument has extremists. The Jewish part has extremist people that will also demand the same things as Hamas, and Hamas also are bullshit extremists that also indoctrinate their children.
No, that's not
so
true.
You've got both sides.
You're not going to find anyone. You're not going to find anybody side that's going to advocate for Hamas.
What about Ben-Gvir? What about Smotrich?
Okay, we can talk about Ben-Gvir and Smotrich. Yeah, Ben-Gvir and Smotrich. Ben-Gvir and Smotrich are far right.
There's a lot.
Summer, but the thing is that what you're doing right now, which is like, okay, what about this? What about that? It's like trying to give examples of individuals that might represent the whole Israel.
We can talk about that. Let's talk about Ben-Gvir and Smotrich, because they're far right. Let's talk about love extreme.
But you're saying they're not presenting the majority.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say anything actually.
I said individuals, but yeah, I don't really know much about them. So
but we can talk about Ben-Gvir and Smotrich because they are far right. Let's talk about the extreme. What they want is to practically ethnically cleanse Israel of foreign citizens and annex a bunch of land into the state of Israel. So that's extreme. They want to expand into the territories that are being occupied.
And who are these guys?
Oh, wait 1 second.
What positions are they?
They're in the Knesset. They're in a party. And it's what they want is they want to annex land, and they want to make it that people that do not pledge allegiance to the state of Israel shall be expelled. Let's forget if that's okay with the Geneva Conventions. That's a problem. That's an extreme position which most of the states against peace have said. However, that is very far from Hamas. They don't want to go to a neighboring country and get rid of it. They don't care if Muslims live on the border. They don't care if Palestine becomes a state. All they want is an extreme position of safety for the state of Israel. Most people don't agree with it. So I'm not defending it. I'm saying you cannot compare that to Hamas. It's just not a comparison at all.
May I ask about the Israeli society, how they look to Arabs?
I mean, like, when you say you cannot compare that to Hamas, let's say, they did, like, these people are politicians, and they're really effective in lawmaking stuff, and they do want a lot of people to die. They want a lot of people.
They are not.
No, they actually don't want anyone to die. No, they don't want anyone to die.
I mean, did
they
you
want.
see the way they're talking? Could you see like their statements and stuff? I mean, do you
No,
think
I saw their statements. Summer, we'll do this again. You've done this multiple times. What we really have to do to get around this conversation is to ask you, what do you think Israel should have done? Sometimes you're like, Israel could have done better, Israel could have done this. We really have to try to figure out what you think Israel could have done better. If you have a good idea, let's hear it. But I don't want to talk about the extremes, but remember, I'm discussing the extremes. Smotrich and Ben-Gvir are extremes. Ben-Gvir was not allowed the idea for being too extreme. I happen to think he's very unstately. I think he's a mess, but that's irrelevant. He's allowed to be a mess. He slipped by the high court and got the party in. I'm still not fully understanding how that happened, but because you're not allowed to be an extremist group and be a political party, he managed to do some legal maneuvering and slip in and get the group in. After 5 failed attempts and multiple terrorist attacks, he pulled together a couple of seats. So it's fair to discuss it, but let's set the boundary. What he wants is a state of Israel that has no fear of terror attacks from anywhere and an extreme position against terrorists. So he wants a death penalty to terrorists. He wants to expand the problem. He wants a very, his dossier, which I didn't read because it's in Hebrew and I'm not willing to put in the time to read it. I could slowly read it, but it's not right for me. Is pretty extreme that most people don't accept. But that's the boundary. The boundary is not going into further countries. He does not care about the neighbors. He doesn't want what Hamas wants is there to be no state of Israel anywhere. That's not his position at all.
Clean the whole land from Jews.
Right. He wants the land that is is then under Israeli occupation to be annexed, and all foreign citizens that don't pledge allegiance to be expelled.
Nowadays, like you're telling me, all the Palestinians in Gaza do support Hamas and they support that.
I never said that. I don't know why you're saying that. I don't actually. Not only did I say that somewhere, you asked me what I think about the Palestinians in Gaza, and what I said to you was that I don't believe they all really support Hamas. I think they're afraid to come out and say they don't support Hamas. I don't have any proof of this because I'm just guessing. I just think that humans do not support when politicians put bombs on their schools. I just assume that most of them are afraid to say something, probably because of bombs at their kids' schools. We did not really support them. We just didn't have the ability to stand up. That's my assumption.
And also, it's fair to say humans do not support the occupied forces.
Don't you feel like it's
No, that's completely untrue.
Okay,
you don't resist
Alright,
occupied.
guys, we can do this one by one. It's a very small room. We can all not talk over each other.
Mayor gave good analysis of the situation and his point of view to the Palestinians and Hamas, and I'd like him to tell me how about the Israeli community, the Israeli people? How do they accept Arabs? Do they really want them to be their neighbors? Do they really want peace with them, or the majority of them hate Arabs?
Good question. The vast majority of Israelis want peace with the Arabs, and they're afraid of them. So if the Arabs would lay down their weapons today, it'll take a couple of years, like 10 good years, for there to be full peace relationship. Yeah, it's more than PTSD. PTSD is a psychological disorder that it's not fair. Meaning, if someone comes back from war and they hear a truck backfire and they jump into position and they say, "Oh, it's a truck," that's not PTSD. That's like a normal reaction.
Okay, so there's difference between trauma and PTSD. So
we don't need to all do that.
Well, I think that.
Yeah. So my point is, there's definitely a lot of suspicion and question that'll take time to heal.
Okay, but at the same time, Arabs feel worried because also Israel is weaponing itself and it has nuclear weapons. So why do you want the Arabs to? Sorry?
What do nuclear weapons have to do with that? Israel not dropping nukes on the Palestinians.
No, I'm not talking about only the Palestinians. You say that
Israel will not introduce nukes to the Middle East. Assuming nukes, which I do assume they have nukes.
No.
They will not introduce it to the Middle East.
Please, let me declare my point. My point here is that you already said that the Israeli community, the majority of the Israeli community is willing to have peace with Arabs, but they are worried. Once the Arabs let down the weapons, it's going to be after 10 years or something, it's going to be good achievement and have peace process. At the same time, why do they fear to have peace with Arabs just because they have weapons? And at the same time, you don't think that Arabs could have the same fear because Israel has strong weapons, including nuclear weapons.
Let's analyze what the two sides have done with their weapons. When the Arabs broke through the security fence on October 7th, they went house to house murdering people. Israel has never done that. Whenever the Israelis put down their weapons accidentally, there's a massacre. Israel has never done that. Now, Israel has caused lots of collateral damage, but that was all to take out terrorists. So if you look at what they've done with their weapons, there is not the same level of fear. Now, having said that, I understand that a child indoctrinated in an UNRWA school is going to have a fear of going through a checkpoint, and it's not going to take 5 minutes on the Arab side either. Like that I don't have that delusion. But I don't see coming out of the Arab world this idea that we wish we could have peace. We just don't really trust each other. In the Israeli society, now there are some Israelis that will talk about, we have to have supremacy, whatever. It's a pretty small minority, and they will lose every election. Most Israelis want peace, and they are afraid.
I want to go back to what Isa said when you said like the white supremacy, and I thought that was kind of smart. Would you elaborate more on that? Like, what do you mean by Black people bringing it on themselves when they feel already inferior to the white people? Do you think it's like a mindset, or do you think it is like evident way on the other side?
I think it is a mindset because, okay, so let's use one that I could be quote unquote a victim of, the whole men supremacy and the patriarchy. There is nothing today in this day and age that a man can do that I am not allowed to do, including joining the military. So if I immediately put myself in a position that as a woman I am less than a man, then that is a mindset. And then I will say, how is it that they say in English, to a hammer everything, to someone that owns a hammer,
To a hammer,
looks like a
everything
nail?
looks like a nail.
Correct. Everything I will start correlating it or linking it to someone trying to oppress me because I'm a woman. And that I will be setting those limitations. And then the next time that I am rejected from a job, let's say a job interview, I will be like, oh my God, for sure it was because I'm a woman. And I will, instead of thinking, what can I do better in order to get the next interview? So I am doing that to myself. So yeah, I think it's a mindset. I don't think anybody is oppressing me because I'm a woman. Maybe someone else is more competent than me, whether they're a woman or a man, regardless of their sex. So I think that we do that to ourselves every time we say, yeah, Jewish supremacy, you are actually recognizing Jews as superior to you. When you talk about white supremacy, you're immediately recognizing white people as superior to you. And we don't realize that all of this is programming our thoughts. Language programs our thoughts. And that's the reason why the importance of freedom of speech, and for the allowance of using all the words we want, even if they are offensive. Because if you're not allowed to use certain words, then your thoughts are limited by those things that you're not allowed to use. And that drives your brain. So I do believe that it's a mindset. And it's a mindset that needs to be broken. And in the same way that Palestinians have a specific mindset towards Jews, or towards Israelis, well, not towards Jews, I would say in general, globally. The Israelis have also a certain mindset towards the Arabs because, as Meyer said, they're scared, because they have
what
been.
I wanted to point out, but with the Israelis, there is some kind of laws that will make them. How can I tell you? It's more. I don't know if it's in the education, but I think it's in the religion itself. With a lot of stuff. I think that is related to that.
But the difference, Summer, is that an Israeli, I don't see them being aggressive towards an Arab. If anything, they're scared because they're not the ones. They're not the ones initiating violence, but it's the other way around. So they have been the ones hurt.
It can have like a natural response to them to like have suspicions with Arabs. You mean?
Yeah, well, I think so. I don't know. Like when you live in a country where your life is threatened or you're mistreated or whatever by a specific group, it's just normal. But that doesn't mean that they want to like to be able to get along with them. They were not the ones initiating it. They just have bad neighbors.
You can say that, but also there is this stuff about it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, well, of course, that you have to get into the whole history and the whole mindset and traumas and whatever was left. But at some point, you need to decide as an individual, and I'm not even talking as a country, but as an individual, this fight. Is the casino analogy that I was using for some time, Like you enter a casino and you start losing the $10,000 you brought with you, then you lose your watch. Then at some point you're like, no, I'm gonna get it back. I cannot go back home to my wife like this. And then you end up putting to the table your house, in the hope that you're gonna get it back. Dude, at some point you need to count your losses and just move on.
It's not, that's why you guys all wrong. It's not about winning.
Well, actually, Soren, no, with Soren, that's
You know,
the thing.
Isa, let me tell
Either
you,
way,
I watched a
Dignity.
video.
Dignity that is important. Have in life.
So he said something. There is selfishness when it comes to the Arab Jewish life. It's like he said, my life is more valuable than an Arab life, and you can kind of about that. It's like, you know, when you go and like search for a militia, like a group of militia, they destroyed the whole place just to search for that group and find where they are actually. And I don't know. What do you guys think about it?
well, Summer, not all lives are the same, or not all legs are worth the same. Do you think that my legs are worth the same as the Olympic winner of, 100-meter run? No. My legs are not worth the same because, yeah, I can walk, I can do my stuff, but I cannot run that fast. I am not worth the exact same. And then at the same time, what you're talking about in the war, guess who is putting the price to the lives? Whoever is risking them. If Hamas actually thought that Palestinians' lives were worth something for them, they would stop this immediately. They wouldn't want to lose it anymore. They would be, okay, we're done. We don't want more people to die. Here are your hostages.
Sometimes people sacrifice their pawn to win.
That's right, and that's what they're doing.
But people don't want to die. I mean, like they don't want to die.
They take it up to Hamas. Hamas is sending all of the weak people to their death out of anger and trauma and pain.
And that's so sad and disgusting.
But Summer,
and then people who think that they're morally correct will then often take up the position of Hamas. And it's strategic, right? Like people who are involved in terrorism at the top, they're like people in street gangs. You think that the people at the top are idiots? No, they're definitely not idiots. And what they're doing is what they're doing, and the decisions that they're making are well calculated.
yeah, and Summer, you say nobody wants to die. Well, I will have to doubt that, because so in our belief as Christians, I'm not sure about Jewish people, I've never talked to them about this, but Christians believe that they're going, oh, Meyer is back, so maybe he can answer this. So I've never talked to, so Summer says people don't want to die, and I am trying to make my argument, and I'm saying that Christians, I don't know Jews because I've never talked to any Jewish person about this, but we don't want to die, not even if it means that we're going to get to heaven, we want to die. We don't. Like we have this life, and for us it's an opportunity to make good things, and for us to show God, that we are good sons, good sheep, and we're here to make good deeds so that we can earn our entry in heaven in order to get to heaven. This is the fast way.
It's not like what you think about it. It's like out of the blue that Muslim one day is gonna wake up in the morning and go like, oh, you know what? I wanna go and blow myself up.
Oh no, I know it's not one day they wake up. No. They are brainwashed since they are little kids into knowing that that's the purpose of their life.
This is the problem. Like what the problem is, if you're gonna talk about Hamas and Gazans, they're really different. Their situation is different from the other majority Muslim Arabs or Muslims in general. It's not like they're gonna go, oh, I'm gonna blow myself up and I'm gonna kill all those Christians and Jews and all the other people in the world, so I'm gonna go to heaven. It doesn't work that way. It's mostly in the religious context. It's like, if you're gonna kill me, if you're gonna come and try to kill me, I have the right to defend myself. Defending myself, but it's not like
no. That's a misconception I think you have. They are not doing it. for defending themselves. Okay, yeah, I am going to, actually I'm looking for that to show you this. Hold on 1 second. Whoever talked to me, give me 1 second.
Here.
You said it is your
But
father.
I don't find people like to do this crazy stuff out of nowhere.
I just wonder why the Indonesians do that, the most Muslim populated country in the world. They don't do that. Malaysians, Muslims don't do that.
They're Muslims.
Okay, here you go. I'm gonna pin a link. Please take the link, Summer, and when you have a chance, please watch it. Because it's a documentary, but it's not only a documentary, it actually shows the episodes of the shows they're running for children in Gaza. And this is a broadcaster that was managed by Hamas. And they have been having 20 years of this since they were elected, or even before, I don't know. I'm not sure about the date when this started, but this is controlled by Hamas, and this is what they're showing the children. Just please give a look, and you tell me if this is not sick. And this is the only access that children had in order to see any quote-unquote children's series or children's TV shows. And they're talking there about Mark.
I don't like their ideology. Like the Hamas ideology is just, it really sucks.
I'm not suggesting you like it, but I'm just showing you what is happening there. And to me, it's also difficult to understand. But to me, Summer, it's also
adopted a mindset. Do you know why they adopted a mindset? Because some stuff happened. To not feel inferior in terms of power, they wanted to be more powerful, so they adopted this extreme point of view. And these kind of stuff happen to people who feel victimized. That's what I was.
Well, but Summer, in the end, it's their choice, whether friendly with their neighbors, or they want to keep going down this path.
Have you ever heard of the term summer? Have you ever heard of the term generational
trauma? I do understand where you're coming from. Like, they need to forget the past, even if the past was not.
And appropriately, it's going to follow it up. Well, interruptions are ever. You.
Come on!
All right,
stop.
She's gone now. We're fucking gone. Well, she's gone now anyway.
But I can guarantee you 100% of them.
What did you want to tell me?
You guys listen to Ethan.
Yeah, thank you, Kelly. Good. I want to hear what Zach is saying.
So, Isa, I did want to say that I sent you in Instagram back channel this video from Zach Sage. Mayor, did you see the new video?
No, I was asking you what you wanted to tell Summer.
I wanted to show her this video.
Oh, okay.
Now you wanted to say that Hamas is Gaza, Gaza is Hamas. I get that point. But even if they're not Hamas, let me tell you this.
That's not true, sorry.
Oh, they're okay with the Israeli occupation. Come on.
Yeah, most. Well, if you, as typical, sorry, you keep cutting off.
I did it.
But if you talk to most of the Gazans want a one-state solution. They
I have
not in Tel Aviv.